Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. We are here to talk politics and pop culture and whatever other random crap hits my brain for the next couple of hours. Hopefully, we'll see how I do. I planned to have done a game stream last night, and that didn't even go anywhere because I fell asleep on the couch after I ate dinner. So no promises. Speaking of which, thank you, Retro, before the show. It says, still waiting on that game stream, LOL. Yeah, sorry about that. And thank you for the gifted sub. That one going out to JMK. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, let me just start by saying I'm annoyed. I am very annoyed. I was, of course, planning to do a show anyway. And I'm reading around looking for something that inspires me for my big story that I want to talk about. Now, the big story doesn't necessarily have to be long. It could be 10 minutes worth of content. Just something that really gets my blood boiling. You guys know what did it? You know what did it? It was somebody not paying attention to Supreme Court cases that they were mentioning. That's what kind of nerd I am. You guys, you might have your nerd cred. How many of you guys get annoyed by misquoted or misinterpreted Supreme Court cases? Good God. So of course the indictment is still the big news all around. It changed the whole news cycle. We had a downgrading of our national credit. Our national credit got downgraded from AAA to AA plus, which isn't that bad. I mean, it's still a decent credit rating. Most people would kill for that. But the U.S. credit rating got taken down one little notch, which typically would be huge. Even the threat of it being downgraded is huge. If you guys remember during the argument over whether or not we were going to increase the debt ceiling, part of that argument was it'll get our credit downgraded if we don't. So this is a story that should be everywhere and talked about nonstop. And it's been moved to the back page because everybody's talking about the indictment. Why? Why was it downgraded? Because of our debt. The thing we've been talking about forever. Almost $33 trillion in debt. And they're like, yeah, we're going to downgrade you a little bit. So it shouldn't be shocking, of course. It's expected that it would be downgraded. But the fact that it's barely being talked about is kind of odd, in my opinion. Hey, Nets, how you doing, sweetheart? But the indictment, which is garbage, this indictment is fucking trash. It is. There is no other way to put it. It is straight trash. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Jack Smith is guilty of prosecutorial misconduct based on this indictment. Now, look, it's one thing. It is one thing to go out there and say, maybe we're going to change precedent. But it's an entirely different thing for a prosecutor to knowingly be bringing charges that are full of shit. It's almost like it's contrived. Absolutely, 100%. I don't think you can. And the story we're going to look at basically is why I believe that. So let's just jump into it. This is from National Review. And I'm going to throw the link into chat for you guys. Let me get that done before we bring it up on the screen here. This is from National Review from a man named Noah Rothman, who we have dealt with before on this channel. Because this guy repeatedly writes things that piss me off. Now, I don't subscribe to National Review. I'm not that interested in them. But I do follow them on Twitter, and occasionally I'll go read one of their stories. And in this case, the story is January 6th was a crime. January 6th was a crime. And in the tweet, it says a dissent from the editorial. The editorial board of National Review. I haven't read it. I'm going by clues that I've gotten. But apparently they came out and said, look, Trump's an asshole. We don't like him, but this indictment is crap. Which, that's fair. That's fair. There's plenty of reasons not to like Trump if you don't like him. There's whether it's policy based or action based, plenty of reasons to not like him. But we don't indict somebody because we don't like them, and we don't cheer false charges against them because we don't like them. And that used to kind of be a thing, you know. We don't abuse the criminal court system to punish people we don't like. It has to actually be, you know, a reason. Well, Noah here didn't really like their take on that. So he has a dissent. National Review editors believe special counsel Jack Smith has made a grave error in alleging that the conduct of Donald Trump and his co-conspirators in the run-up to January 6 riots amount to criminal misconduct. The editors write that Smith himself is attempting to criminalize protected free expression, and subvert the rule of law. I beg to differ. Of course you do, Noah, because you're a fucking retard. I'm not familiar with very many of the National Review writers, but I remember this guy. I don't remember why we've gone after him before, but this has got to be at least the third time. At least the third time. And every time it's because he's fucking stupid. In this case, he's going to explain to us why this indictment is okay. I want to point out something from the indictment. This is true. This is not, in any way hyperbolic or anything. This is one of the list of proof against Donald Trump that he's a bad man. On December 4th, after 4 Republican leaders of the Pennsylvania legislature issued a public statement that the General Assembly lacked the authority to overturn the popular vote and appoint its own slate of electors, and that doing so would violate the state election code and constitution, the defendant retweeted a post labeling the legislators cowards. That's one of the things in this indictment. And actually, him retweeting comes up several times. Donald Trump retweeting something is proof of a crime. Retweeting I'm guessing probably a political pundit or somebody said that they were cowards. It wasn't even Trump's own words. He just fucking retweeted it. And that is listed as part of his criminal acts here. So when Noah is over here telling us that the editorial board thinks that it's a criminalization of protected free expression, I beg to differ. Well, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. Because whether or not the entire indictment is, at least parts of it, 100% are, without question. Hey, Alan, what's up? I might not be funny tonight, guys, because I'm angry about this shit. And we haven't even got to the part that really made me angry. Our editorial does not gloss over our shared aversion to Trump's appalling actions in the wake of his 2020 loss. But it maintains that Trump's misconduct was a political crime for which he was prosecuted in a political venue and ultimately acquitted. Talking about the what's it called? Impeachment. And yeah, that's what, and you know what? He shouldn't even have been tried for impeachment. He should have never had the impeachment vote. It was all political, and that's not what impeachment is supposed to be fucking used for. Anyway, dissatisfied with that outcome, it argues the Biden administration empowered the special counsel for the precise purpose of attempting a do-over for a failed impeachment. 100%. They're not just arguing that. That's actually what happened. The editorial implies that those who entertain the validity of Smith's charges have succumbed to a fit of pique, is that how you say that word? And would do well to remember that criminal prosecution is an inept substitute for the congressionally driven political process. I would argue it shouldn't be in either of those processes. It's an inept substitute for voting, because that's where that really should be decided. Not in the halls of Congress, not in the halls of justice, in the halls of your local bingo parlor, wherever the hell you guys go to vote. Check your slabs. Oh, fuck. I don't even have it open. Let me get that opened up so I can check my Streamlabs. No, Mr. Jack. Yeah, I don't know where Jack's at. I haven't talked to him in a couple of days, not since we last did the show. So I hope he's okay. Hopefully he's just tired and getting a lot of sleep. All right. Come on, load up. You can do it. I have faith in you. There we go. God Ready, thank you so much. Just watch I think, Discovery ad that is not for people who are assigned female at birth. And now people are mad at them for not doing trials for cis femmes. It has an 80% plus chance of causing cancer in them. Wow. Are you on Twitter? Do you have that ad where you can send it to me? And Spartan John, thank you. I was listening to Sean, Actual Justice Warrior, debating that weasel Sam Cedar before I got the notification. I moved over to lower my blood pressure. So work your magic, Monkey Man. I will do my best, but no promises on lowering your blood pressure with the shit we're talking about. Anyhow, what were they arguing about? Just throw it in the chat. I'm curious. Because if it was about this, I'm just Sam Cedar has no business talking about anything like this. He's not smart enough. All right. Back to the article. Oh, wait. We were just talking about you. The people miss you, Jack, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How's everybody doing?
I'm actually pretty good, my friend. We missed you.
Yeah. I was fell asleep.
Good. I'm glad that's all it was. And cool.
That was a little bit of heat stroke, but what are you gonna do?
Well, what we're gonna do is sing to the chef because it's his birthday.
What?
It's the chef's birthday. Around here, we do this. A 1 and a 2. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
Happy
chef.
birthday, the chef.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
To you.
Happy birthday, sir. Hope you have a great one. Really, really, really do. All right, Jack. You're here just in time for me to get pissed off about this article I'm reading.
Oh,
yeah. It's Noah Rothman over there at the National Review. And he's telling us why he disagrees with the editorial put out by National Review, that even though Trump is a prick, this doesn't rise to the level of being criminal conduct. Which, I mean, I'm paraphrasing their point here, but that's pretty spot on. And as I said, I think that's fair. You cannot like Trump and still look at this indictment and go, oh, no, this is bad. Which I think you probably should do. Anyway, he says this, but Trump's second impeachment proceeding and what the former president is charged with here are distinct. True, but it doesn't make this charge good. Now, here's where I get pissy. The sole article of impeachment, don't care about that. We already know. The editorial maintains that, as the Supreme Court reaffirmed just a few weeks ago, fraud in federal criminal law is a scheme to swindle victims out of money or tangible property. But there are, in fact, operative Supreme Court precedents indicating that efforts to defraud the United States government extend to the obstruction of its conduct. Now, I read this part, Jack, and my ears popped up. You know how I am with the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, really? Ooh, really? And he gives us examples. He gives us examples. And I was so happy for this. The first case is Haas versus Henkel in 1910. It found that the statute was broad enough to include any conspiracy which is calculated to obstruct or impair its efficiency and destroy the value of its operations and report as fair, impartial, and reasonably accurate. Fair enough. Ease Bees, thank you. Twitter's garbage, but you know that. The indictments are obviously a distraction. No indictment for insurrection, so they have nothing. They have less than nothing here. They have what should lose to this man losing his fucking law license. Yeah. And this is the part here that I think proves it.
Well, hang on before you get to that. Thank you, Alan. Says good to see you, Jack. It's good to see you too, man. Hope you're doing well, and thank you.
All right. He goes on. We're gonna read this whole paragraph, and then I'm gonna destroy it. Chief Justice William Howard Taft was similarly empathetic in Hammerschmidt versus United States in 1924. It is not necessary, he wrote, that the government shall be subjected to the property and pecuniary, I don't know that word, lost by the fraud, but only that its legitimate official action and purpose shall be defeated by misrepresentation, chicane, I don't know that word, or overreaching of those charged with carrying out the government intention. Now,
Wait, is that word chicanery?
it's chicane. There's no "-re" at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what threw me off. Chicanery, I know that word. I practice it.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, this is language from 1920 and it's legal, so fuck, I don't know. If you just read this paragraph that this idiot wrote here, it might sound like, oh, maybe they have a case about Donald Trump defrauding the government. Unless you go read the actual cases.
Oh, that sounds like work.
So let's talk about Haas versus Henkel first. This is the 1910 case. It says the statute is broad enough to include any conspiracy which is calculated to obstruct or impair the government's efficiency. In that case, Jack, the United States government didn't lose any money. Instead, what was happening was a company was bribing officials to take fake reports.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's not at all related.
Not at all related here. What they were saying there is, yeah, the government might not have lost money, but you did cause us to have false information that was filed legitimately. Okay, so the 1924 case comes along, and Hammerschmidt versus United States. In this case, they even quote Haas and kind of slap it down just a little bit. But this is a case of a guy, actually there were 13 people who were going out there and putting out pamphlets and stuff, telling people not to register for the draft.
How does this one apply?
Well, because they said, hey, you don't have to actually defraud the government of money or anything. You just have to limit its official action. The problem is, if you read the whole fucking opinion written by Taft, they overturned the indictment. They said the indictment should have been quashed and that the ruling was overturned. Because you can't just say that somebody going out there and telling people to break the law is defrauding the government. It literally says what Trump did was legal. Even if you go by the most ridiculous standard that the left is going, where they're like, he told him to go out there and break the law. By Hammerschmidt, that's not illegal. By the ruling in Hammerschmidt that this fucking retard only read until he pulled a fucking Hunter Avalon here. He read the part he wanted to read and did not read the rest of it.
Yeah, it's pretty typical these days, sadly. Hey, real quick, thank you, Spartan John, for the generous donation. I, the true star of this channel, have arrived to make MITAM watchable. You're welcome, monkey.
Nancy says they stayed up all night going over old laws to indict Trump. How desperate can you get? Here's the thing: the defrauding the United States, that law is used quite often, but it's like I was telling you guys yesterday. That's for like people defrauding Medicare. You rarely run into it in something like this, where like you told people to go break the law and they did. Which again, Trump never actually did that, but you don't run into that because Hammerschmidt is the fucking rule here. It is the precedent, which tells you you can't indict people for that. Based on that alone, that part of the indictment, count one of the indictment, is thrown out as soon as it gets before a judge. Even with it being this, look, it is being put in front of a Obama appointed judge. But one thing judges don't like to be is overturned. And all Trump's lawyers have to do is bring up Hammerschmidt and go, look, it says right here, you can't do this. Even if Trump had said, you guys go up there and you stop them from getting these votes counted, that's still not enough under the defrauding the United States statute. Thank you, Frosted Glass. First, I'd like to thank BX Beast Boy for agreeing to be on the corner this Friday. Second, and more importantly, I'd like to thank Monkey for not warning him about me. I kind of warned him the other night when he was on.
I think he's going to have fun, but regret it later.
I think he'll just have fun. I think you guys are going to break him a little bit because you guys are funny as shit. And not that we're not, Jack, but more edgy than we might be.
You're a little more willing to go on the boundaries.
Yes. Yeah, I got to talk to Beast today. He asked me if I would stream with him. I don't know if he's put it up yet. He records them and then he puts them up. So look out for that, guys. It was just we just chatted for 2 hours.
Nice.
A lot of stuff about the business of YouTube and that kind of stuff pops up in that discussion. But anyway, this is one of those cases, guys, where Mr. Noah here, he only read enough to affirm what he believed. And he's going out there and he's telling people this. And now I'm going to have to listen to fucking retards on Twitter for the next 2 months telling me Hammerschmidt said it can happen. Because none of them are going to go out. This asshole didn't even have the decency to link the decisions. And you can find both of these decisions online really easily.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all.
But this fucking asshole, man. See, there's precedent for it. Actually, the second one you said there is precedent that this case shouldn't fucking exist. It just shouldn't exist. Can Trump countersue if found not guilty? He can't countersue because this isn't a civil litigation. What he can do is file complaints with the Bar Association, with Justice Department, basically with people who are not going to pay any attention to his complaints.
Yeah, that's all going to get ignored.
Yep. But that's what pissed me off, where I was finally like, now I got my hook to be angry to start the show. I got so pissy when I was reading the cases because I'm like, oh, he must have some good point here. And then I went and read them. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. They're not even close. It's literally the opposite. It literally says the defrauding part has to be thrown out because it's not fucking real.
Not real? Monkey. Reality is a perception thing these days.
It's so nonsensical. After winning, he could try for malicious prosecution. Yeah, but for malicious prosecution, you have to actually be able to prove their state of mind. You would need some public statements. And the one thing I will give Jack Smith is he's kept his fucking mouth shut.
Yeah. Trump has at least 4 things going at once in the legal realm. If we're lucky, he won't have a heart attack from the stress. Because this is pretty unprecedented that they would do all of these so close together like this. Obviously, it's coordinated, but yeah, Trump's not going to get anywhere with the malicious prosecution thing. His best hope is to get into office and fire all these people.
He also, he can also pardon himself from all of this.
Yeah.
But he does have a case brewing in Florida, or not Florida, Georgia. I don't think that one has been, an indictment has been announced. The chick down there in Fulton County, she just announced that she wrapped up and was getting ready to proceed, but she didn't say what getting ready to proceed meant. Yeah,
they're going to file on him.
Based on everything we've seen about that, I mean, this is all based on the phone call with, what's his name? Roethlisberger. That's the Steelers' old quarterback. What's his name? Um,
The
the governor and
governor
the
down there.
AG. Yeah, the
I
governor.
don't remember his name.
The governor's Kemp, isn't it? And then the AG is something ridiculous.
Yeah, that
But
one's absolutely going to be twisted around and bent over. They're just fucking the law in the ass. That's all they're doing.
yeah, that's the one where we're like, he called him and said, "You got to find me more votes," and then you listen to the actual conversation, like, wait, that's not what he said.
No, but they're going to selectively insert what they want and let the jury only see certain things. The lawyer or the judge that he's got on the January 6th nonsense, which isn't even January 6th charges. Although if you read the last like 6 pages of the indictments, talks all about January 6th, and none of this has to do with that at all. That judge is really, really heavy-handed on the January 6th people that she's already sent away. So he got the worst possible judge, and they obviously seem to have. I would suspect it was coordinated that he got that judge, but
Yeah, that's another one where we have to guess. And remember, we're not saying conspiracies around here, YouTube. We're just guessing.
there's a lot of coincidences.
A lot of coincidence there, yeah. However, the thing is, when it comes to this, if this judge allows, especially that first count to go through, she's going to get overturned.
Probably.
She's
Yeah.
just gonna. So, I mean, I don't see it, at least that one going through. The other ones, I mean, they're all stupid. We looked at them yesterday. They're all dumb.
Yeah.
And like I showed you guys just a minute ago, part of it is based on the fact that he retweeted people.
Oh, the monster. How
That son
dare
of a
he?
bitch.
The left is so obsessed with social media. It's bizarre how much their lives revolve around what some idiot posted on a website out there. It's amazing.
I want to bring up one other article. Now, we're not going to read much of this one, but this is Bill Barr talking about it. Bill Barr has decided that he knows that Donald Trump actually knew he lost. He said he wasn't sure before, but now he knows for sure that he knew that he lost. Which again, remember, all of this depends, the entire indictment that we just saw, the one that came out yesterday, depends on proving Donald Trump actually believed that he lost and was trying to overthrow everything, knowing he was wrong. Which is why you have people like Bill Barr coming out and going, look, I didn't know before, but now I'm sure he knew. But he says this. As the indictment says, it's this paragraph right here. As the indictment says, they are not attacking his First Amendment right. Time out. You can say that and still be attacking his First Amendment right.
Yeah.
If I'm stabbing you and I'm like, I'm not stabbing you, I'm still stabbing you. It doesn't matter what I said. Yes.
The semantics seem to not matter anymore.
As the indictment says, they're not attacking his First Amendment right. He can say whatever he wants. He can even lie. He can even tell people that the election was stolen when he knew better. But that does not protect you from entering into a conspiracy. Dun, dun, dun. We saw this in the indictment, Jack, because we did bring up the indictment. And it says very early on that Donald Trump is allowed to say what he wants to, even if it was false. And then it goes on to tell you why he's not allowed to say what he wants to.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is that this is absolutely an attack on the First Amendment. The National Review editorial that Mr. Noah was talking about, these are people who do not like Donald Trump. He is persona non grata over there at National Review. They don't like him. They haven't for a long time. And even they're like, this is bullshit. But then you have people like Noah who just can't get out of their own bullshit. We're like, oh, he caused January 6th. He's got to be punished for it. No, there's no reason to be punishing Donald Trump here. I even saw one person, Jack, of course it's political, just like they did with the last one. Of course it's political, but he needs to be held accountable. But you're not supposed to be being held accountable for your political beliefs. This is just an attempt to keep Donald Trump from being able to run for president. That's all this is.
Yeah. Well, it's also revenge because they don't like him.
Thank you, Ease. I got a good quality Chinese mic, so you have literally no excuse to not have me as a guest. I'm guessing is what you're saying. Just saying, I'm not stabbing you. Just kidding. Love you guys. Love you back. And you know what? Maybe we will one day. No promises. I don't ever promise anybody they can come on the show. Because usually when I have somebody on the show, it is a last minute, hey, you want to do this? Jack can attest to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, Jack, what did you think overall about the indictment?
I think it's total horse shit, but it would serve multiple things. Not only would it get Donald Trump, which is what they really want, but it would also help chill free speech so that it's criminalized now. So you can't say things that go against the narrative or be afraid of punishment. They can't just fire you. They can throw you in jail. Then it would also get a bunch of other people to fall in line because really this would give them the opportunity to go after any politician. If you say, well, I disagree with this, they went after Trump for saying, go over and peaceably assemble, and they can cut off the last couple words and make it a crime now. So any political speech is going to be prosecutable. They could go after anybody they want. And if they can bend the law to their whims on something as ridiculous as this, they'll find whatever they want to prosecute you for. This is really dangerous for the Republic.
I have the 4 counts of the indictment on the screen right now. The first one we just took apart with Mr. Noah's help. By the way, that also includes counts 2 and 3. The conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Again, this goes back to Hammerschmidt and these 13 guys who are trying to keep people from registering for the draft. Obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. Again, it is not enough, and this is also from Hammerschmidt, it's not enough for it to just be delayed a little bit. We need to remember that the certification still took place on January 6th. The inauguration still took place on January 20th. So you can conspire to obstruct an official proceeding. They can sit here and say it all you want, but this is what the Supreme Court precedent says. And then the final one, conspiracy against rights. We didn't talk much about that one. Did you see what that charge is, Jack?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I mentioned it last night. Their bullshit here is that Donald Trump was trying to get votes thrown out, and therefore he was trying to violate people's rights, their right to vote. What? That makes no sense. And this goes back to do you know what this law was put in place for, Jack?
Was it for slaves?
Yeah, it was to keep people from violating slaves' rights, former slaves, to vote. And they're using that fucking law to try to take down Trump.
Yeah, they're bending the law every which way. Just like when what was that case where they tried to it was Scott Walker from Wisconsin where they tried to manipulate the law saying that you couldn't release rape victims' identities to go after him on some political vote.
Oh yeah.
That they will find anything that's even remotely similar. I mean, and as far as stretching it like Stretch Armstrong and wedging whatever they can in there and trying to just make it happen. It doesn't matter what it is as long as they get their way. That's all they care about. They don't care about the destruction they're doing to the legal system or the country. And it's really, really repulsive. This whole thing is just sickening to me.
The weird thing here is that he's being praised, and they did this with Alvin Bragg with his bullshit up in New York. He's being praised for bending the law to try to get Trump. That should never be praised. I said this last night, Jack. People, will cheer. Oh, but that's how they got Al Capone. They shouldn't have gotten Capone that way. If
No,
you
it
had a
was a
problem,
dirty trick.
it was a very dirty trick, and that's not how laws are supposed to work. It's one of my problems with RICO laws. Like, oh, we can't get them, so hey, they were all standing in a circle over there talking. That's conspiracy. Get them.
Yeah, conspiracy is one of the laziest charges they could go after because it's so vague.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be coordinating with somebody to be involved in a conspiracy in most states. It's bizarre.
Well, under the RICO laws, you can just be, and this is how they use it against the mob, but let's say you own a company. Jack, you own Jack Incorporated, and one of your middle managers gets involved with some criminal activity and they work on it while they're at your business. They can come after you for it because they work for you.
Yeah, and they could take your business that way.
Now, you may or may not be involved in the actual criminal enterprise.
Oh, they don't
but
care. It's about seizing property.
They don't have to prove that you were.
Yeah.
They just have to prove that you guys are in some way fucking related, and it's disgusting, and we should not be cheering laws like that. I don't care how much you fucking hate the politician.
Yeah, you're going to destroy a lot of innocent people on the way, and that's what they don't care about is who gets caught up in the aftermath of their zealousness.
Yeah, so fuck this guy. Fuck everybody who's supporting him for this shit. And everybody should be appalled. And it was said a little bit ago, I think it was Eagle who said it, that this seems to be helping Trump. And the more people learn about it, the more it will help Trump.
Because honestly, hopefully, but because this is such nonsense, they're railroading him. Even if you don't like the guy, to distort the law like this is incredibly dangerous precedent to set. Eventually, it will be used against ordinary people who have done nothing wrong and have nothing to do with Trump.
It seems like a repeat of last time. Well, which last time are we talking about? The last indictment? It absolutely is. And look, there's not a lot more for me to say here other than just screaming and repeating the same stuff. I don't understand how people don't understand this, other than the fact that it's just based on hating the man.
Yep. They don't like Trump, and their hatred is blind to that. Buddy of mine's all excited about this. I'm like, you do realize that they could use this against anybody, and Trump may have a massive war chest, but you don't. He's like, oh no, they would never do that. You're fucking delusional.
They already do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, how many times have we talked about the fact, they arrest somebody and then they just throw every charge they can think about them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cops do it all the time.
Yeah, whether it's real or not.
Doesn't matter. Just whatever sticks to the wall. They'll get you on something eventually.
When you get arrested, I mean, there have been cases where they have not in any way objected to the arrest, put their arms behind their back exactly how they were told to, and then get hit with a resisting arrest. It's like, but I didn't resist. I felt you pulled just a little bit.
Yeah, you pulled a little bit. You gave me a look. You gave me a little attitude. I heard you sigh heavily.
Yeah.
If that cop's got a bug up his ass about something, you're getting hit with a charge.
And they'll hit you with everything they can.
Yeah, and they have qualified immunity, so they won't get any repercussions on it.
Trump's speech my right away? Yes, exactly. This guy, Jack Smith, I remember when he was first announced as the special prosecutor, and the media went on a tear about what an upstanding, great person this was. You know what? I closed it. That article I just showed you about Bill Barr, even he says in there, of course, he's partisan. And you don't think that has anything to do with these bullshit charges he just brought? Hate Trump all you want, but don't have them fucking abusing the law to keep him from running for president.
Yeah.
Vote against him. That's how you do it.
Yeah, campaign against him. Get out there and get your friends to vote. But no.
Did you watch? I'm sorry, I'm going to switch topics here. Did you have more to say about this one?
No, I find the whole thing disgusting and reprehensible in a true republic, but we don't live in that anymore. We live in a proto-communist state.
Oh God, yeah, this is such a banana republic right now. God damn. These the democracy, democracy, democracy. They are sure as shit not waiting for democracy on this one.
Yeah, you know who else on paper had democracy? The Koreans. How's North Korea doing these days?
North Koreans.
Yeah. Well, they were part of Korea at one point,
True, true.
and it's in their name. Also, if you ever go through the Bill of Rights for the Soviet Union, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But the implementation was much, much different. So pieces of paper mean nothing.
Yeah, we just watched that clip of Scalia talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would think that all of the people who fell for the democracy would be going, wait. But no, like so many other talking points, people don't actually believe in what they say. It's just the talking point of the day.
Yeah.
Scuba Seth. Oh, real quick. Sorry. Thank you, Scuba Seth. Have you guys talked about the light bulb ban that just went into effect on Tuesday? I didn't know about a light bulb ban.
Yeah, incandescent bulbs are dead.
I thought they already. Oh, that's right. They were, and then
Trump reversed it.
Yeah.
See, what they did the first time was they banned certain wattages. So the light bulb companies got around it by making ones that were different wattages. Like, oh, that's not a 60-watt bulb. That's a 49-watt bulb. But now they've gotten rid of them completely.
I don't think that they should be banned, but you are better off buying any other kind of bulb. They last so much longer. I don't give a shit about saving the planet. I care about saving my fucking wallet.
Incandescents for life. They were like 89 cents for 4.
Dude, we used to have to replace the light bulbs in my kitchen. I don't know why, but like every 6 months. And switch from incandescent to I don't think it was LED. I don't remember which one we switched to, but it was a different kind, not incandescent, and hadn't had to change it since.
I like bought some of the LEDs. I've had to change them twice because I got the Meyer brand.
Yeah,
and they're not bad. They're a lot better than they used to be. Those curly fry ones, I fucking hate those things.
I don't like those either. I think you're right, Faithless. I think they were the CFL, which are the curly ones, aren't they?
Probably.
I just like those because they last longer. And now they're not incandescent, but they look like the incandescent.
I miss the incandescent. I keep some in a box in case EMP takes out my LEDs. So I still have light bulbs for the darkness of the apocalypse. Where I'm fighting off the marauders, and I can still see them then. But yeah, the curly fry ones, I hated those things. They had so many generic ones out there that they were just dog shit. And if you broke one, dear God, you gotta get a hazmat suit for that shit.
That is true. In their desire to save the planet and switch to those bulbs, they actually old light bulbs. I mean, they were metal and glass.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what an incandescent bulb is. These ones, yeah, they're hazmat when they break. Whoopsie. Nobody, not me, said every tyranny has a Bill of Rights. They just ignore it. True story.
Yep.
True story. And again, that's what Scalia was getting at in his testimony there. All right, guys, we're going to switch to our next topic. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up. Tell your friends, your family about us. Maybe that bitch you hate. Depends. And if you would, please consider donating to Jack or myself. Link is in your YouTube chat. It is also in the description of your Rumble and YouTube videos. Did you watch Devin Archer on Tucker?
Don't think so, no.
I was a little disappointed. I was a little bit disappointed. And I think I saw what was going on. Tucker is very, how do I put this? Soft, very soft on the guy.
He's got to toughen up a little bit on people.
Well, I think in fairness, I think Tucker was trying to get information without coming at him really hard. And I hope Archer doesn't get sad. Archer's doing enough that I don't think he'll get sad. I think he's protecting the Bidens enough that I don't think he has to worry. His testimony, from what we've heard, and then watching this clip with Tucker, I think he's pussyfooting enough that he doesn't have to really worry. Tucker's part of the machine. Tucker usually does really good stuff, and there are parts in this interview, Jack, where I don't want to say he challenges him. But he tries to, nudge him a little bit, nudge him over to here. I don't even know if I want to watch it because there's not much to it. There's nothing that we learn from it other than, nothing. One of the things Tucker does over and over again is, basically go with the notion that, hey, everybody in this town uses their name for something, and that's fine. If your dad's a senator and you name drop your dad, that's a lot different than having the vice president of the United States call in to your business meetings.
Yeah. Cool Frog and the raid. How you guys doing? Thanks for joining.
Hey, Cool Frog, what's up? I did get your message. Maybe is my answer to that. I don't know. I never commit to stuff like that because I can't, Jack. I was talking with BX Beast Boy today, and he reached out. He goes, "Hey, you want to stream?" I'm like, "When?" And he goes, "When's good for you?" I'm like, Let
me ask my spine.
It depends. Luckily, I was in, feeling pretty good today, and he was ready to go right then, so we just went and did it. But then I had dinner, Jack, and I passed out immediately after dinner.
Oh.
Well, not immediately. It was about half an hour. I came down here and I sat and I was reading a little bit, and just that wave of tired came over me, and I went and slept for 5.5 hours.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I was just fucking exhausted. And I slept really good yesterday. My body's just making up for, I'm like a camel. I store up sleep. I hadn't slept well in like the last week, Jack, so I deserved it.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so yeah, this Devin Archer interview, I mean, it's not one I would even recommend anybody watch. Of course, you should to know if you're going to talk about it at all, but the truth of the matter is there's nothing there. It's kind of fluffy a little bit.
You're kind of fluffy.
It is, and like I said, as I was watching it, you can see Tucker kind of trying to pry a little bit, trying to but he goes so soft on it. Instead of going, "Come on, man, what was really talked about there?" He actually makes excuses like the thing I was just talking about. Everybody in this town does that. There's a difference from everybody using their father's name and everybody using their father's name to get positions on boards of foreign national companies that then have their will implemented by the White House. Those are entirely different things.
Nah. Totally normal, right?
Totally normal. The whole weather stuff, oddly enough, that didn't come up. He didn't bring up that this was during the time when Beau Biden died. I don't know if you saw that yesterday, Jack. The media, before the indictment comes out, the Devin Archer thing's the only thing people are talking about. And the media made all kinds of excuses, including that it was, hey, this is during the time that Beau Biden died. And in reality, that's what the conversations were about.
Yeah, and the weather.
There's no proof of that anywhere.
No proof? Excuse me. They were speaking their truth.
These are the people who insist that we need evidence. Thank you, Talking Trash and Truths, for that gifted sub going out to Eagle. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to get buried. It's a very important story that should be being talked about. But as we've seen a couple of times now, Jack Smith drops either an indictment or an update to an indictment anytime there's a story that doesn't look real good for the Democrats.
It's total
Especially,
coincidence, Monkey. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
no, it's literally the next day, or in this case, the same day. Yeah, it's nothing to see here, y'all. Nothing to see. He announced that he didn't announce. He told Trump, and then of course, knowing Trump would go out and tell people that the indictment was coming the next day. So it's almost like it's planned. Almost.
You sound like a conspiracy theorist.
No, I said almost. I totally believe it's a coincidence. I 100% believe it's a coincidence. I'm ducking in case lightning strikes me because I'm lying my ass off right now. Do not believe for a moment that it's a coincidence. I think it's absolutely being done in tandem. I saw a post from Don Jr. yesterday where it listed some of the things that happened together.
Yeah.
And he actually
talk about it in chat.
He gets it a little wrong. Do I still have that? I'm sure I do. I just got to scroll down to it. There was so much yesterday, Jack.
Oh, yeah. It was a big day.
Here it is. This is the one that Donald Trump Jr. retweeted or tweeted. I doubt he came up with it on his own. FBI releases documents to Congress alleging Biden's took a $10 million bribe from Burisma on June 7th. June 8th, Jack Smith indicts Trump in Mar-a-Lago. That's not exactly correct. June 7th is when Comer threatened to hold Wray in contempt for not giving up those documents. This is over the 1030. Not 1030, 1023. And I think they did eventually give it up in that week, but the big story that week was that they were going to hold his ass in contempt for not doing so. On the 26th of July, Hunter Biden goes to court and rejects his sweetheart plea deal. On the 27th, Jack Smith adds more charges to the original indictment. True story. On the 31st of July, Hunter Biden's former business partner testifies to Congress that Joe Biden was on over 20 calls with his son. By the way, that is his guesstimate of how many times it happened. It's not like they have that written down. And that comes from the Tucker interview.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the next day, on August 1st, Jack Smith indicts Trump again for January 1st. Sorry, for January 6th. Yeah. A pattern? No, Eagle. It's coincidence.
Totally a coincidence. There's nothing to see here. Any sort of pattern recognition is just the conspiratorial right-wing part of your brain.
Yeah. So, look, it's not exactly spot on because there was differences to it, but yeah, it's amazing how that's happening. It's amazing.
It's just convenient timing, Monkey.
Yeah, any bad news for Biden and suddenly there's an indictment, or it doesn't even have to be an indictment. Just something will break. Something will break. It doesn't matter. We saw this all through the campaign back in 2020. The press will not allow Biden to get bad news. And I saw a thing the other day, Jack. Somebody said, the press is going to get tired of the Biden administration not answering their questions. Like, are you fucking retarded? When? They're on the same team. What do you mean?
What you talking about, Willis?
These are people where Corinne and Jean-Pierre's lied to their fucking faces and they were like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And let it go. The next day, they're asking different questions instead of following up on the shit she lied to them about yesterday. The White House has over and over and over and over said Joe Biden never spoke with his son about his business. Never.
I'm pretty sure that most media outlets are required to have on a loop Fleetwood Mac's Tell Me Lies.
No shit. Faithless said, when are they going to start asking real questions? In fairness, and you have to pay attention to this, Faithless, because this is how they get away with it. Occasionally, they will ask a real question. They don't care about the answer. That's not the point. The point is for them to be able to say, I asked. And we've seen that with a couple of the Biden things. I forget what the story even was, but remember that one time, I mean, it was like there was blood in the water at the White House press briefing, and all of them were asking the same question, and oh, it was the cocaine. And
Yeah, they all lost interest in that pretty quick.
the next day they were talking about other shit. When they keep changing where it's found, when they come out and say, yeah, we can't figure out whose it is in the fucking White House with all those cameras, you can't tell me whose coke that was. Bullshit. And
It's a mystery for the ages, Monkey.
But Jack, they have footage of them pressing Corinne Jean-Pierre on it. They can show, see, we're not just lackeys. We ask hard questions. They don't care about the answer. And they only do it every once in a while so they don't lose their cushy little position to get to ask the questions. But they do. They'll ask them now and then, just so they can say they did. It's a deceitful little game, Jack. And it is 100% on purpose.
How can you say such things?
Because I pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Well, stop doing that, comrade. It's bad for your health.
Also in the news tonight, I saw Lee Remini. Is that how you say her name?
Leah Remini, yeah.
She is suing the Church of Scientology.
It took her 20-some years.
She's suing them for stalking her and harassing her and mental stress. All of the stuff that she's been claiming. Yeah, she's suing them now.
Oh,
you know how I found out about this?
Oh.
I jump onto Twitter after I wake up from my nap, and the first thing I see is a tweet from the Quartering saying, I'm trying to get her on my show tomorrow. If enough of you tell her to come on, she might.
Oh my God. Yeah, go harass this woman to be on my stupid show. Idiot.
Look, man, if you get the interview, good. I mean, good on you. But I have a feeling it does not matter how many of your fans say, yeah, go on his show. I don't think that's going to matter at all.
That would irritate the fuck out of me. Like, stop filling up my feed with this crap. I don't know who this weirdo homeless guy is.
Yeah. He tells her, I've read almost everything there's to read about Scientology. That's probably not a good way to get her to come on your show, honestly.
Well, yeah.
That might make her feel a little bit
creeped out.
No, more suspicious that you're a undercover agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked her show that she did on A&E about Scientology. It was really good. They've been bothering her, from what I've been hearing anyway, on this show and all these other things. They've been bugging her since she left.
Oh, yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they have been stalking her. I would be willing to bet that's 100% true because they have that reputation. But I, for one, do not wish to get sued by Scientology because they are incredibly litigious. Nobody's seen The Founder's Wife in a long time.
Libra says, is the Quartering's channel fading or something? Not that I'm aware of. I mean, if he could manage to get that interview, that's a big coup for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that somebody who goes on major platforms is going to necessarily come onto the Quartering's channel. Like I say, there's no harm in asking. It just made me laugh. Like, if you guys, no, I don't think that's how it works. You're talking about an actual Hollywood starlet, or used to be.
Yeah, until she left Scientology, then those shows dried up pretty quick.
And then they blacklisted her. It's amazing how much power they have, how much sway they have in Hollywood.
Oh, it's shocking how much influence they have. That the reports of that one leader's wife hasn't been seen in years, and that one, they're like, yeah, we asked around and they said she's fine.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we talked to her. You can't, but we talked to her. Who is this? She's the actress that was on The King of Queens, and she came
Zach
out.
Morris's girlfriend on Saved by the Bell for like a season where they were at the beach.
Was she really? I never saw that season.
Yeah, they did a season where it was like their summer break or whatever, and they were they were all working at this like resort beach place, and her dad ran the place.
But she joins up with Scientology around the age of 9. And I believe her mother brought her into it. And then
Yeah.
it was 34 years later. She's like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm out. And ever since then, her career's just been kaput. And she eventually goes, fuck that, and makes a series on A&E 4 years ago, I think it is, maybe 6.
It's been a little while, yeah. It was a
Where
good show.
Yeah, I've never watched it myself. I've heard very good things about it. The press tour for it was amazing. She was like, fuck all y'all. Which is, I mean, I don't want to say Scientology is like the mafia, but this is a fucking disgusting cult, and they will destroy your life.
I don't know what he's talking about. I am a hitchhiker that he found on the side of the road. Don't sue me. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you ever watched her explaining Scientology to Joe Rogan? Hilarious. I haven't, but I'll have to look that up.
That's a pretty good interview for what I was awake of, because Joe puts me to sleep.
Yeah, Scientology. The South Park episode is probably my favorite. For people who don't understand Scientology, watch the South Park episode on it. Because when they go over the actual beliefs of Scientology, it is based on a fucking fiction novel that L. Ron Hubbard wrote.
You gotta be in it for a long time till you get to the Xenu and the B-52 bombers.
Yeah.
Like, they don't just put that out there day one. They wait till you're like pretty high up in there and you've got a lot of money invested.
Yeah, Frosted, when they flash on the screen, this is what Scientologists actually believe. It's funny as fuck, because it is. It's really what they believe.
Yeah, that episode, I think that was a 2-parter. That was almost as good as the Mormon one. Dum 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 dum.
Dum 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 dum. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
You know what? But see, the Mormon one I like, and I can forgive Mormons for their silly beliefs. Sorry, Mormons. But because that they point out at the end, you know, hey, we're happy people who try to go along and enjoy our lives. Scientologists will destroy you if you talk about them.
Yeah. That's why you can't come out of the closet.
There's a yes. And then I got my gun. There's a reason that most people stay away from it, because it's dangerous to talk about. And not dangerous in they're going to kill you. They're going to sue you into oblivion. They've done it to many people. Anyway, when I found out exactly what they believe in aliens. That's true.
Yes. That not only are aliens real, but they are infecting you. That's why you have to go clear.
Yeah, again, and you got to pray to, what is it, Xenu? Is that what it is?
No, Xenu's the bad guy.
Xenu's the bad guy. My bad.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, so she is suing them, and let's see how that turns out. They have a lot of really good lawyers.
Yes, they do.
And yeah, they like legal fights. So I wish her all the luck in the world, because just leave the girl alone. She left your cult. Leave her the fuck alone. This would be like Jim Jones suing somebody that left his cult before he killed everybody with Kool-Aid. Although, wasn't it Flavor Aid?
Yes, it was grape Flavor Aid.
Everybody says Kool-Aid, but it's not. It was Flavor Aid. They didn't even get him the good stuff. How fucked up is that?
Well, Flavor Aid is pretty good. I'll give them that. That's like B. You know, if you have choices A, B, and whatever the third tier is, you know, you're getting the second tier, right?
I like Flavor Aid, but if we're killing ourselves, I feel like we should have the good stuff, right? It's only a couple cents more a packet.
Look, man, they had a coupon.
Oh, with extra flavor. Indeed. Flavor Aid isn't so bad. You're talking to a poor kid. I drank more Flavor Aid as a kid than I did Kool-Aid. All right. I like Flavor Aid.
Every now and then you end up with like the gallon jug of purple.
Yeah.
And you never know what it is. It's just, it comes that way. That was the
But
stuff we always got. And those little barrel plastic things that had
see,
drink in them.
we didn't get those very often because those were expensive.
We always got them really cheap because coupons.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you're gonna kill your flock, at least give them the good stuff.
Whatever. They're not going to know that you saved 10 cents. That's 10 cents more you get to keep if you survive.
But he killed himself too.
Yeah, well, that's the flaw in that plan.
Except for when I was little and didn't realize you had to add the sugar. Oh, yeah. I've had people do that before. Not know you got to put sugar in the packets.
Yeah, you're just making fun dip then.
You're
Watery
making
fun dip.
it's not even that. It's gross because there's literally no sweetness to it. I was a Sunny D and Tang kid. Oh, look at the rich guy. Born with silver spoon.
Tang.
I didn't know what
that
Sunny
in college.
I didn't know what Sunny D tasted like till I was an adult and bought it myself.
Yeah, we never had Sunny D. I was probably in college when I had that too. But yeah, I never had Tang till I was in college because that was the astronaut drink and it was stupid expensive.
I think we might have had Tang once, but not very often, that's for sure. And I don't like Tang. I think Tang is kind of watery, actually.
It's okay. I mean, if you buy the powdered stuff and make your own, it's okay.
Yeah, I would rather just get an actual juice.
Yeah, I'd rather just get like a Tropicana or something. Sunny D, they changed the formula. I think they did anyway because it tastes weird. Sucked even then. Yeah, right.
I didn't bring up the story on this. I just have the screenshot. Guys, please share the actual links when you put stories on Twitter, fuckers. Ugh. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's funny. We won't stop. Blade Runner activists chopping ULEZ cameras down breaks silence. They're having an issue in London where this guy is destroying their cameras.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
It's funny as shit.
Yeah, because they're one of the most surveilled places outside of China. So, because China has 800 million surveillance cameras.
And these cameras are not just for traffic, but they're also for green restrictions and taxes. And this dude is like, nah, fuck that shit. And it started breaking them. I don't support breaking government property. Did I say that convincing?
Sure.
You should not do that. It's messed up. That is vandalism, and we do not support that here on Ranting Monkey Show.
No,
but this is
not
funny
at all. Vandalism is not hilarious and could cause serious harm to the surveillance capabilities of the state who are keeping you safe and
keeping
protected.
us all safe, Jack.
They are going to do pre-crime and spot the bad guys before they commit the crime, so you will be safe.
Yeah. I will say I don't recommend this kind of stuff. And I mean that sincerely, because when they catch you, they are going to throw every book they can find at you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Probably some terrorism charges, too. But yeah, he's probably on video doing it, ironically.
Yeah, but you can wear masks these days and nobody pays attention.
That's true. One of the ways I read an article about a way to beat facial recognition systems, and what these kids were doing was getting party masks of Thor and like
Nice.
Captain America, because it looks like a face, and they're like 50-cent masks. They come in like these multi-packs, and they're running around with those, and the facial recognition can't penetrate them because there's no contours. It's just a flat piece of cardboard with like a little nose hole.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I'm like, that's kind of ingenious. Those kids stumbled on that. They're not smart enough to come up with it. But these were like teenagers that beat these systems. They were out there tagging rail cars or something like that, or sides of buildings, but just graffiti artist kids.
I don't like things like traffic cams or cameras. It's cans. Whoops. Traffic cams. I feel like they are the government cheating.
Yeah, the red light cameras I have a problem with. The traffic cameras for like checking flow of traffic, I don't really take too much issue with. You can't see specific license plates or anything. I don't like license plate readers. I don't like the red light cameras. I think those are bullshit. And the surveillance nonsense is just going way overboard. They don't need to know everything we're doing.
Mick says, add 10% speed and minus 5% sarcasm to sound more human. I will try that next time. I will try that. Fuck the surveillance state. All right. I don't believe in that crap. You know, in your TV shows, they always use that stuff to solve major crimes and stop kidnappings and stuff. And in real life, all it's used for is to issue traffic tickets.
Oh yeah, it's a financial generator.
Mhm.
And they've been proven that depending on how they set the cameras up, they can fake it so that it looks like you're further up than you are, so you get a ticket for being over the line. And they don't work the way they're supposed to because it's supposed to make money, as opposed to like, oh, well, we're actually catching actual guilty people. No, you can set those things up at the right angle to make it look like people are where they're not supposed to be, and then give them a ticket that they didn't earn.
Moving along, Jack. I think this is a major mistake by the DeSantis campaign, or could be. Ron DeSantis says he will debate Gavin Newsom. Apparently, Gavin Newsom has thrown out the gauntlet, been like, "Hey, debate me, bruh." And DeSantis said that he would be willing to do it. Now, there's an upside for DeSantis if he does this and does well. That could help, with his numbers because he's sliding. But if he has a bad showing, that's the end of his candidacy.
Yeah.
That is the end. So, I mean, I do think he could probably hold his own against Gavin Newsom. But, this is a dangerous play. This could go very bad, sir. Fight me in Knoxville. Yeah, you know what? That would be a better way to do it, honestly. I'll go kick his ass. That'd be a much better way than to take the chance. One, let's be honest, you're probably not going to end up with somebody who's moderating this in any kind of honest way. And you're going against a very, very, very good liar.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to really have the receipts with you for this.
Faithless says he just has a point to any city in Cali. I mean, in this article, he goes, we're already beating Cali. It's like we are the most integrated. Is that, I think, how he said it? The state with most people moving to it. It says crimes at a 50-year low. We're beating Cali and all these different things. And that's fine, but that's not going to be what the argument's about. The argument is going to be about policy. And you're just going to get called a racist and a sexist and all kinds of shit over and over. And Gavin's going to sit there and smile with his used car salesman bullshit smile. Mm-hmm. Newsom is trash. I agree. I would never defend Gavin Newsom. That guy's a piece of shit. He has been since he was the mayor of San Francisco. Probably since he was born, honestly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I get it. You're struggling a little bit, but maybe taking the chance of getting your ass kicked by Gavin Newsom is not the right play.
Yeah, there's too many negatives for this unless Gavin Newsom declares he's actually running for something.
Yeah, meanwhile, you have the vice president out there who's basically challenging people to debates on the whole Stop Woke Act. And when she's called out, she's like, no, it's unnecessary to have this discussion. Well, if it's unnecessary to have the discussion, why'd you start it?
I like Venn diagrams and electric buses.
I like buses. And buses.
Wheels go round and round.
Yeah, I can see what they're going for there, but we'll see. Narcissism of the fact checkers. This is the most story of the day. It turns out, Jack, that the people who do fact checking are narcissists.
No. What? I'm shocked. The people that want to tell everybody how correct they are and everybody else is wrong are
Yep.
narcissists. Wow, this was a necessary paper that needed done. Ugh.
It just made me laugh when I saw it because, like, of course. I mean, speaking of making me laugh, Jack, it's time for our video of the night, the first video of the night. I don't know how many videos we'll have tonight, but this is the first one. I actually meant to start the show on this, but I was so annoyed at the whole asshole who can't read Supreme Court decisions that it got pushed back. So our friend here, have you watched this?
No, but I can already tell it's stupid.
This is a trans man who's pregnant. It's a pregnant trans man. So it's a pregnant guy.
Sure.
I mean, born with a vagina and assigned female at birth, of course. But got shaved. They have one of the worst haircuts we've ever seen on the show, which is fucking incredible. It almost looks like a Lego hair that you could take off. Remember those?
Yeah, it's like a Lego mullet.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
If I am trans.
Whoa, is that too loud?
That's very loud, yes.
Maybe that's why I'd turn this shit down.
It's in an echoey room, but still pretty loud.
How's that?
A little better, yeah.
All right.
If I am transitioning, why am I pregnant when that's such a woman thing to do? I would, first of all, like to say that it is free for me, because one person asked why I don't do like surrogacy. I feel like I'm doing surrogacy for myself.
I'm doing surrogacy for myself.
That is not how any of that works.
That is a perfectly valid question to ask of these trans men who get pregnant. If you are just so put off by your female side, why would you do something as female as getting pregnant?
And carrying the baby.
Carrying the baby.
Yeah, that seems a bit dumb.
Free for me. If I have the parts, I'm a dad, y'all. I'm about to have my...
You're not a dad if you're carrying a baby.
Well, it is if he's doing his own surrogacy.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard. That is so dumb.
I'm a dad, y'all. I'm about to have my third child. If I have it, I'm going to get my well use out of it. So I am going to grow the baby myself. I have it. I'm going to get my use out of it. And then I'm going to get it cut out.
When they say get it cut out, they mean the girl parts, not the baby.
I'm 50-50
or maybe not
on that one.
Maybe not. I don't know. How fucking deluded do we have to be? How much bullshit do we have to put up? How much do we have to listen to these fucking idiots? Like, I am a boy about to give birth. I'm going to be my own surrogate. We've seen these dumb people before, but the reason I wanted to highlight this one was I'll be my own surrogate. That is a whole new level of fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to be my own surrogate. No, you're just a pregnant lady. That's all.
I have these. I'm going to get my use out of them. When they're done, gone.
I just want to point out when they touch their boobies and they say, I have these. I honest to God went, no, you don't. I mean, I guess you got the starter kit there. It never.
Yeah. Good job on Tanner
updated.
Stage 2, like every 10-year-old girl.
But I mean, they do have the ability to make, milk. So, all right.
Pregnancy is not feminine for me. It's not like a woman thing for me because
it doesn't matter if it's a feminine thing for you. It is a feminine thing. The only reason it's not a feminine thing for you is because you're lying to yourself. I Fisher Price, my first tits. Pregnancy is not a feminine thing for me. That doesn't make any sense.
Not feminine for me. It's not like a woman thing for me because I'm not a woman, and when I'm pregnant, I'm still not a woman.
Who wants to tell her? Hey, sir, you couldn't get pregnant if you weren't a woman. That's just fact.
You don't know me.
No, but I know biology.
Oh, the science of hate. Okay,
The science of hate.
Hitler.
Oh, good God. Many pregnant high school-aged men in the future. You know, I hadn't even thought about that, Space Troll. Are we going to have a big problem with pregnant high school boys now?
Maybe. But I
'Cause
think it's going to
we
be a
used to have
bigger problem with like alimony and child support.
No, that part I get, but I mean, we used to have, girls getting pregnant in school, but now boys can get pregnant in school. We're going to have a whole presidential commission on that.
Oh, dear God. Well, we need more bureaucracy.
Frosted Glass, thank you. Spray silver on her, and she's in Mad Max Fury Road. It's not. Look, pregnancy is not a feminine thing for me because I am totally a boy. But you're not. You're not.
How dare you judge me?
You're a chick.
Wow. Oh, so triggering.
I know you're a chick because you're pregnant. For apparently the third time.
It's not dysphoric at all. Weird how that happens.
But they're going to just get it cut out when they're done using it, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Gone. By the way, you can save yourself on top surgery because nobody's going to believe those are female breasts anyway.
Yeah.
They just look like some man titties, just to be honest with you. You got a little bit of man titty going on there. It's the only thing masculine about you is your man titties. Yeah, we gotta. We're going back to the indictment, Jack. And Michael Fanone, you know Michael Fanone, right? The guy who wasn't even on duty that day in January 2021. Who
the David Hogg of January 6th
rushed to the Capitol to be there with his compatriots and took the worst beating anyone's ever taken a beating ever in his beating life. Beating.
Yeah.
Well, he was on CNN. Let's get a sound check.
And I told him how
It's fine.
All right.
proud I felt to be an American at that moment.
What he's talking about here, because it starts kind of in the middle, is how proud he felt when the indictment came down against Trump yesterday. How proud to be an American he was when he got that information.
Much in the way that I did when I learned that our military had killed Osama bin Laden.
Yep, that's what he said. He felt proud to be an American when Donald Trump was indicted, much the way he felt when we killed Osama bin Laden.
How do you feel about those lawsuits for racial bias that were against him?
I just felt incredibly proud.
These two seem comparable
incredibly
to you?
proud to have been.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but why that comparison in particular?
Now, some people have given this woman some credit because she pushed back. And I guess technically she did because, well, she doesn't even push back. She just asked why. She asked for clarification. That's not exactly pushing back. Why? Those are comparable. Why? If this had been a Republican who said something stupid, they'd be like, no, that's not true. You're just being dumb. I just want to point out, Osama bin Laden, responsible for almost 3,000 Americans murdered. That day in January, the only murdered American, if you're going to call it that, would be Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the police officers, they always talk about getting killed. None of them died that day, and none of their deaths can be directly attributed to this. The only way it's attributed to this is from people wanting it to be. They tried desperately to get Switnick, is that his name?
Sweatnick, yeah.
Sweatnick, whatever, to try to make it, oh, look, see, this guy died the day after. They held out the autopsy report and everything for like almost a full month after they had it, and they're finally like, yeah, we can't actually show that had anything to do with it.
Hate fact.
But anyway, so she pushes back, and Mr. Dumbass, that for some reason, 15 minutes is getting really long these days. His 15 minutes of fame should have been gone like the next day.
Yeah.
But they keep dusting this little bitch off. I keep waiting to see Liz Cheney because I haven't seen her on TV yet. And they love bringing that fat old woman out to be like, yes, I hate Trump. But anyway, instead we got the male equivalent here.
I believe they're comparable.
Really?
In what way?
Absolutely.
In what way? Absolutely.
What? Osama bin Laden was a terrorist who committed a horrific act against American people and against our republic. And I believe that Donald Trump is a terrorist who committed horrific acts against the American people.
Again, 3,000 versus none.
One.
Yeah, that's comparable, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely, because he doesn't have a political agenda at all. He is totally unbiased, and he is a saint without indictment on him at all. He has never, ever been accused of abusing his police powers, except that one time when he got sued.
We'll get to Chris Hayes in a minute. I thought his was the dumbest I was going to see today until I saw this one.
You can imagine that is a very eyebrow-raising statement, to say the least. The notion of Osama bin Laden in comparison to Donald Trump, it likely speaks to just how deeply you have been concerned and have felt about all of this.
Do you see what she see? This is why the people who say, "Oh, she pushed back," she didn't say that seems absolutely insane. She goes, "It speaks to how deeply you're concerned and how you feel about all of this." No, it speaks to the fact he's a fucking lunatic.
A little bit. But that's how deep his feelings go. It drove him crazy.
But
she set him up for the spike. Yes, 100%.
Are you concerned that statements like that, or the rhetoric surrounding what his role has been, is going to cloud people's view of this indictment as a fair process?
Did you see her concern there? It's not that the guy sounds insane. It's that he might make people question it. He might cause a couple of people in the audience to go, wait, that sounds kind of fucking insane. Maybe I should look at this a little closer. Does that sound like pushback to you, Jack?
Not really.
I think that the only person or people whose view matters with regards to this indictment are the jurors who will eventually be sat and listen to the facts.
Wrong. The judge is important long before those jurors ever get there, Jack.
Yeah, it's true.
The appellate courts, probably the Supreme Court, if this goes the way a lot of people are thinking it is. But besides that, there's some truth to the fact that the jurors, if it makes it that far, they're the ones that their opinion is the final say. However, that doesn't mean other people having opinions doesn't matter. It can matter immensely. If people see Donald Trump getting railroaded over this bullshit and the jury goes 12-0 against Trump and the American people are like, oh, this is bullshit, that does matter then, Mr. What Fanone, you fucking piece of shit. This guy's a douchebag, man. I do not like this guy at all.
Yeah, you should. He's a piece of garbage. And I'm pretty sure he's a liar.
Oh, he's 100% a liar.
And ultimately make a judgment as to whether or not Donald Trump is guilty of the charges that Jack Smith and the Department of Justice have brought forward.
The DOJ, as
Other
you
than
know,
that, what I say, what I say, or what Republican lawmakers say, is just, you know, shit to take up time on cable news.
He's not wrong about that part. It is just shit to take up time on cable news, but there's people that listen to you for some reason, sir. I don't understand how you don't understand that. You know it. You just realized that she had kind of a point that your crazy talk, and you know it's crazy, is probably going to turn people off. Which, again, I love that is her issue. It's not that what he said was so fucking stupid. No. You might make people question this. Now, in a similar vein, Chris Hayes has some things to say about the indictment, Jack.
Oh, God.
And we got to watch. It's rare that you see Rachel with her fat little sister at the same time. So this was cool for me. It's nice to see her giving some support to her fat little lesbian sister.
Well, my first reaction, which is just a personal one, and having covered this, I think, you know, like all of us have, and many of the viewers are in the weeds of it too, is like, right, yes, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if this wasn't a crime, nothing is a crime.
If this wasn't a crime, nothing is a crime, Jack. Oh, fuck. If you're talking about the riot and people vandalizing, yeah, that's a crime. And Donald Trump saying, hey, be peaceful, that's really not a crime, Chris. But Chris gets dumber, believe it or not.
We watched him do it on television.
No,
we
didn't.
sat at this desk a year ago at the January 6th committee. We knew what he was doing. If that is not a crime, then nothing is a crime. So that part of it is just like, I find really important and gratifying. I mean, there's
which part of that stuff that you watched was he charged with, Chrissy?
What?
The stuff that they watched, you know, we watched the January 6th stuff. We saw it live. We saw him do all this. What part of that was he charged with?
The bad part, going against the narrative.
He wasn't charged with any of that shit. There's no insurrection. There's no treason, which would be the one if you really want to go for him and you're saying he tried to overthrow the government. Treason would be the fucking thing you go for.
Oh, you and your rules.
But we saw it. We saw it. If it's not a crime, nothing's a crime. He's still not done being stupid.
Yeah, never.
There's a kind of ballast to it. Yes, of course, this was corrupt. Of course, this was fraud. Of course, it was a conspiracy to defraud the U.S. We all saw him engage.
Not under a legal definition, shithead.
In the conspiracy to defraud the U.S.
You didn't see him engage in a conspiracy, especially when you're talking about the January 6th and the indictment. You have to point to a whole lot of things that happened behind the scenes that you did not watch, sir.
Look,
Unless
your
you
hate facts are really getting in the way of his emotional menstrual outburst.
Oh, it gets better.
The second thought I had, it's just about the magnitude of this moment, which I think is just worth taking a second on. I mean, with Donald Trump, lots of things are unprecedented. The first time he was indicted was unprecedented, and the second time he was indicted was unprecedented because of the federal indictment had never come down. This is in the canon of American events, January 6th and its aftermath.
Which, if we were being honest about it, would not be much of a deal. Would it be talked about? Sure. Would it be talked about with the hyperbolic bullshit that it is? No. But anyway, and Jack, I can prove that because we don't talk about the riots of 2020 the same way.
No, those were just fiery but peaceful. Nothing to see here.
And the reason is that for 159 years after the cannons fire on Fort Sumter, there is an unbroken chain of peaceful transfer of power. And not only that, the core story.
I'm really curious. One, he's actually comparing January 6th to the firing at Fort Sumter. Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, but during when the firing happens there at Fort Sumter, Lincoln has already become president.
I believe he was elected. Yeah,
he's president of the United States at that point. So the peaceful transfer of power had already happened. There's an outbreak afterwards. But correct me if I'm wrong on this. January 20th, without there being any kind of violence, Joe Biden took the oath of office of 2021, January 20th. Joe Biden was inaugurated, right?
Yeah, he was. He was inaugurated, and there was a transfer of power.
All right, I'm just making sure.
Of the American experiment is a fight within itself to be true to the radical promise of democracy. That is why Lincoln says at the battlefield at Gettysburg that the question before the nation is whether a nation of, by, and for the people can long endure. It is a test whether the thing can last. And that's in a category of itself in America.
I'm fairly certain he's not even sure what he's talking about at this point.
Yeah. Look, we can smell our own. And half the time I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's never stopped me. But at least I sound like I might have an idea, and he sounds like he's just kind of trying to keep from drooling on himself.
Can I also point out how disrespectful I find this flag on their little fucking desk?
That's just gaudy. It looks like they've marked off kills.
It does.
American history, the Civil War, and the death and misery. But this is the gravest political crime since secession. And
the gravest political crime since secession. All right. Let's say that it is. That doesn't even mean it's a major crime. That is an escalating standard, right? If after secession that the first major political crime is a dog catcher who took a bribe, well, that was the first major political crime, or the biggest political crime since secession.
I just looked it up. The first inauguration of Lincoln was on March 2nd, 1861. And the Battle of Fort Sumter happened April 12th of 1861. So there was a peaceful transfer of power.
Peaceful transfer of power, yeah. I don't expect somebody like Chris to understand a nuance like that.
Gravest test that Lincoln called on the battlefield of Gettysburg of whether a nation of, by, and for the people, that we are our own masters, whether that can long endure. So I feel profoundly gratified by reading this document because it calls the question in a way that it has not quite been called yet. Like,
you mean complete bullshit with legal ramifications? I agree with you on that. That's not what he meant. He's trying to say that that document shows that Donald Trump somehow thwarted democracy.
Well, you're not allowed to have a different opinion than one approved by the state.
Thank you, Frost, who says it wasn't the biggest political crime this decade. True story.
Yeah, Obama's tan suit was. Oh, I mean,
that damn tan suit. The only scandal of the whole presidency.
I know. Not even the fact that he may have killed that paddleboarder.
Don't care. I still think it was one of his daughters.
Probably.
Keeping with his tradition of fighting old, washed up MMA fighters, Jake Paul is fighting this Saturday, I believe it is. Nate Diaz, a former MMA fighter, or still, I guess, because he did have a fight in 2022, who is was he like 39 years old? He's old for a professional fighter. His his last fights, I think, what is it? He's had 6 fights in the last 6 years, and 3 of those were in 2016.
Why is Paul always fighting these old has-beens?
Because the one time he stepped up to a younger boxer, he got his ass whipped.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's some solace in that for the people that lost all their money on Crypto Zoo.
Yeah, right. Well, this is his brother. So this is Jake,
Whatever.
not Logan. Logan's the one who stole that. Jake was involved in other crypto scams.
Yeah, I really don't see the difference between either of these tards. They're, as far as I'm concerned, from the same faulty load of spooge.
Yeah, I only bring this up because there's a lot of people. Oh, Nate Diaz, he's going to kill him. Can Nate Diaz beat him? Sure. Is it likely to happen? Probably not. Just like with Nate Silva. Nate Silva, an excellent striker, but he was also old. He's not a trained boxer. Boxing is different than MMA. So if Jake Paul wins this fight, I'm not going to be shocked at all because it's a whole different sport, and he's fighting an old man by the sport standards.
Yeah, that's lazy.
But he'll get paid for it very well. Very well.
Of course he will, but I don't know why people pay to watch some young guy beat the shit out of an old man. Seems kind of cruel.
Instagram skyscraper climber Remy Lucidi fell to his death in Hong Kong.
Yeah, predictable outcome.
This is a guy who would scale skyscrapers and take selfies of himself. He'd take selfies. Here's one of them. And apparently he falled and died.
Yeah, apparently he had knocked on some windows for help, and they can't open a window. It's a skyscraper.
It's a skyscraper.
What'd you think was gonna happen, dude? If you fell, you're dead. That's all there is to it. Unless somebody happens to be washing the windows at the same time and you land on their little rack thing, you're dead. There's the odds of that are comically hilarious because that's stuff that happens in TV shows.
It is simply Darwinism, if I'm being honest. I'm not happy the guy's dead, but
but it's predictable.
Yeah, these people do this nasty stuff where they're putting themselves in real fucking danger, and what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, you're a thrill seeker and an adrenaline junkie. Eventually that catches up with you because of age or accident or, you just poor planning or something. There's 1,000 things that could go wrong and there's no fail safes. You're going to die.
Yeah. So, I mean, welcome to gravity, homie. Hope you enjoyed it while you were here. So next up, Jack, this is the last thing I want to watch. We're going back to the political sphere for just a moment. I want to discuss this video of RFK Jr. I know his voice and everything, guys, but it's an interesting thing that the Democrats are doing.
And then the Democratic Party is doing a bunch of things to make sure that even if I win more votes than Joe Biden, that they won't count. Oh, the Democratic Party thinks that I may win New Hampshire, so they've removed Joe Biden from New Hampshire, and they say that if any candidate, they've passed a rule that says any candidate who actively campaigns in New Hampshire at the delegates they win will not be allowed into the convention. And that now what they're saying is they're going to extend that so that if you campaign in New Hampshire, which I've already done, that any votes that you get in Georgia won't count for you either.
What he's talking about there, Jack, is the first in the nation status that New Hampshire genuinely enjoys. They like that status to the fact that they have a law that says primaries in their state have to be held 2 weeks before any other. It's actually in their law. Well, Joe Biden, and this is really, really weird, as a thank you to South Carolina for kickstarting his campaign back in 2020, because he was losing. He was not doing well. And everybody kept saying, wait till South Carolina, wait till South Carolina. South Carolina is going to do it. And that should have caused people to go, wait, why do we know specifically that with all the polls, with him losing so far in every state that has gone, how do we know Joe's going to win South Carolina? Well, it's because, the DNC's, dirty and always has been.
Because the fix is in. I'm with Assassin. This is proof that the DNC's afraid of RFK. It shows how weak Joe Biden is.
Yeah. See, I don't think they're afraid of RFK. I think they're afraid of Biden.
Well, Biden's a shit candidate, and they're going to keep him hidden as long as they can. It's going to be even more ridiculous than it was last time.
So they've decided to give South Carolina the first primary out there in the DNC. And New Hampshire's like, yeah, but our law says we have to go first. So the DNC comes out with this rule that, any candidate who campaigns out there, it doesn't count. Now, I could not find the rule he's talking about here where you'll also lose any delegates you get in Georgia, but I'm not shocked at it.
No, they're going to screw him over the same way they screwed over Bernie because they don't want a split ticket. They don't want to have to actually campaign or do any work. The fix is already in against him. Look, I don't like RFK as a person. I think most of his policies suck.
They do.
And most of his views suck. I agree with him on a couple things, but I would never vote for the guy. But I don't think he should be getting screwed over by the DNC because they have a preferred candidate. That's not how this is supposed to work.
But they believe in democracy. Now,
I don't think they know what that word means.
When it comes to the presidential election, you actually have more democracy in primaries than you do in the general, because in the general, we have the Electoral College.
Yeah.
So these democracy-loving Democrats, for some reason, when it comes to their own fucking primaries, they're not so big on it.
No. Democracy is a lie they sell to the plebs. Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. Go easy on the guy, Jack. He got startled when he looked over and saw Adam West and Burt Ward climbing next to him. Yeah, they had a safety rope, though.
No, Monkey Jack. They've been saying it all along. They're protecting their democracy. Well, I hear what you're saying. But they try to make it as democracy as a whole. They don't always say my democracy or our democracy. They're standing up for democracy itself.
Yeah, well, democracy to them translates to communism. So it's just another word they've altered the definition of.
Look, the only reason not to have New Hampshire first is because New Hampshire is a state that is easy for anyone to win. It's a small state, Jack. All you have to do is go there, spend time there, and talk to the people. Now, that doesn't mean whoever does that's going to win, but the most gregarious, the most charming candidate, that's who's going to win. And it makes it very easy for a candidate who has no real chance in the election to win New Hampshire. And this will embarrass Biden because, one, Biden's policies have sucked for people. Two, Mr. Kennedy here has gotten quite a bit of traction. He's just as left as Biden is, but he has some beliefs in personal freedom. And that scares the shit out of him. And if New Hampshire goes first and Kennedy wins it, that's a black eye for the president. The president's still likely going to win the party nomination anyway, because what you can do in New Hampshire as you build up to that first race, you just simply cannot do all over the U.S. And most of the U.S. doesn't take you have New Hampshire and Iowa who really take the primaries very, very seriously. And it's because they're the two who can, because they're usually the first two to go. So everybody goes there. Everybody spends the months leading up to the beginning of the primary in those states, trying to get their message out to all the people. It's why you have the Republicans saying they're going to do the full Grassley, go to all 99 counties. You can't do that anywhere else because then everything kicks off for real. And instead of having 6 months, you have 2 weeks until the next primary, right? So this would be a black eye to the president, even though he's still likely going to win the nomination because most people don't know who RFK Jr. is other than, hey, he's Bobby Kennedy's son.
Yeah.
And his only real shot to make a splash in the primary overall, and it would get him a lot of publicity, still wouldn't be enough to look. It's an incumbent president. You're not going to beat him for the nomination. Just saying, homie. But it would just be an embarrassment to Biden, and they are punishing candidates who go and campaign. What the fuck? Like, hey, in this election, don't you do any of that election stuff. That's absolutely asinine. But they'll get away with it, and major media outlets are not covering this in any real way, Jack, because of course they're not.
Why would they want to do that?
To be honest, to be fair, to have some integrity.
These are a lot of words. Sounds like right-wing talking points. I'm going to ignore them.
After all the shit that they got over the Bernie thing, and again, I will remind you all, Bernie had no chance of winning. But after all the shit that they pulled with him, they cheated him even though they didn't have to.
Yep.
And they come out in the next election like, hey, guys, we're not going to do that super delegate stuff anymore. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're still fixing the game, if you're still rigging the system. And the media is silent on this. These people have been just preaching that democracy. You will notice, I now that I pointed out, pay attention. They're not talking about democracy much anymore. It's getting real quiet about democracy as the election's starting to approach.
Yeah, duh.
They never cheated Comrade Bernie. They just met his price. No, they cheated him. Before he agreed to go quiet and stop talking about it, he'd already been cheated. Starting with the Donna Brazile giving the questions to Hillary Clinton, them telling, hey, look, even if he wins, we're going to give the super delegates are going to go for Hillary. Yeah, he was still cheated. He sold out afterwards, so he'd shut the fuck up. But yeah, he still did it. Yeah, Bernie took his 30 silver later. Absolutely, 100%. Anyhow, Jack, you have a few stories here this evening.
Indeed.
That's my bringing up Jack music. New York considers Central Park among sites to house migrants as crisis mounts. Is there not enough rape in that park?
I guess not. Maybe they wanted to add human trafficking to the rape.
There's just not enough defecation to go along with the rape.
Yeah, they're like, this place needs more trash, poop, and used needles. Maybe some human trafficking.
New York City officials are considering housing migrants in Manhattan's Central Park and Brooklyn Prospect Park. It's part of a plan to find new sites for some of the more than 95,000 asylum seekers who've arrived in the last 15 months. Let me ask you, the 95,000, they haven't all been bussed there, have they? Not by like DeSantis or Abbott.
No, not to my knowledge.
These are people that are hearing, hey, that's an asylum city. We should move there.
Yeah, well, a lot of people want to go to New York anyway because, it's in all the movies and stuff. When you see movies about America, they always have Statue of Liberty, and they used to have the Twin Towers, shit like that. You watch TV shows, but a lot of them are filmed or based in New York. So, of course, it's going to draw a lot of foreigners.
These two sites are among 3,000 locations they're reviewing to make new homeless parks.
Yeah. Nothing like turning the only green area into a dump. I mean, these people have trashed everywhere they've been. Have you seen all the illegal campsites that have come up from the border? Like, there's trash everywhere they go. They just leave trash. It looks like their homeland.
They have no jobs. They have no real attachment to the community to be like, hey, we need to keep this place clean.
Yep.
They have no, they're here They call them economic migrants. They're here to try to get money so they can send it back to their home, but without a job.
Yeah, they don't need a job. They get all the free shit they could possibly want. They get better benefits than our elderly do.
Well, these people aren't getting much of that at all yet. They have nothing. These are just people who are, I mean, they're vagrants.
Yeah, but they'll be getting their they get their Obama phones at the door, and they get a little gift card welcome package, and then they're just kind of like unfurled onto the streets and until all their benefits kick in. But a lot of these people do get social services, and sanctuary cities have mandatory housing rules, so they got to put them somewhere. They're going to put them in little like FEMA tents in Central Park. I don't doubt that at all. These people are locusts and parasites. They're just here to take. I may be a little biased on this one.
Have them join the military if they want the same rights as us. You can't even do that. There's way too many of them. Many of them don't speak the language. Most of them don't speak the language. They need to send them home. Just send them home. If you want to come here legally. All right. Next up, what they're doing, they're going to destroy everywhere they are because they're just vagrants.
Yeah, they have no attachment. They have no investment in anything. They don't care what they destroy. It's not theirs. They don't give a shit. They'll just trample everything.
Exclusive. General West Point professor ran shadow investigation to hunt down and silence military whistleblowers for mean tweets. An Army 3-star general and West Point associate professor used government resources in an unofficial investigation to hunt down and punish an anonymous active duty whistleblower who criticized Army leaders and the Biden administration on social media, according to private emails and texts obtained by Breitbart News. Of course, it was a woman. Army Training and Doctrine Command Deputy Commander Lieutenant General Maria Gervais and Army, of course, it's two women. Jessica Dawson, who is also known and who is also an information warfare research scientist at the Army Cyber Institute, used their official authority and access to government resources to track down the whistleblower and get him identified publicly and punished in his chain of command.
A woman got vindictive? Wow. I'm shocked by that one.
Yeah, they belong in Leavenworth.
Fuck yeah, they do. But they're women, so they won't.
Despite the lack of evidence, they repeatedly accused the whistleblower of being a counterintelligence and insider threat in a seeming effort to trigger action by Army Criminal Investigation Division. Pat Wurr, a civilian defense attorney and Navy reservist, said a CID investigation will require an assumption or designation of a serious threat. Yeah. They have the hearings going on right now about the weaponization of the government, right? Yeah. This is a clear weaponization of the government against people who dissent.
Oh, yeah. It's absolute abuse of power by the military, which is terrifying. But they're trying to get this guy, executed for being a traitor.
This is not just the military. It's the military going after their own.
Yeah. Which we've seen them do before with people that didn't get the shot and any kind of whistleblowers. It's just, this is quite frankly disgusting.
Yeah. So hopefully those women end up in prison. And I would say I'd hope the military would, shore things up. But these days they're more worried about things like mean words than they are about, guys pointing guns at them.
Yeah.
Social media was a mistake in the hands of the government. It's not supposed to be in the hands of the government.
Yeah.
It's amazing because that story right there, that should be big everywhere.
Yep.
This is them going after whistleblowers. How much bullshit did we have to read about Rebecca Jones because the DeSantis administration went after her? Apparently it's only the ones that they don't like. Shocking. It's almost like that's a trend.
Yeah.
They said mean stuff.
To be fair, I was glad to see that the story on the weird laboratory that they found in California did start to make major news outlets.
I again though, I mean, a story here and there is not the same as like the Trump indictment and the way that's been covered.
Oh, I know, but they're going to bury all that stuff because, well, China pays lots of money for that.
It's our press sucks. The next one we're not doing, Jack. We did the Lizzo banana last night. What'd you think of that?
Oh, okay. Gross.
Yeah. I still maintain those dancers are lucky it wasn't having to eat it out of Lizzo.
Yeah, out of one of her folds or something.
Well, her main fold, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, ew.
Because the whole thing was that those bananas were in prostitutes' vaginas. So
yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But Lizzo seems like a really stupid and gross person.
And look, it's just alleged right now in a lawsuit. But I was talking to BX Beast Boy about this. To me, it's believable only because of how weird it is.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre thing to accuse somebody of.
Yeah, this isn't like we've seen before with like somebody patted my ass or made sexual jokes. This is made me eat a vagina out of a whore's nasty hole.
I think you mean banana.
What'd I say?
Vagina.
Oh yeah, I meant banana. Out of a vagina. That's gross. And very, very specific.
Yeah, it's very strange.
So I can believe that at the very least she pressured him to do that. And again, that doesn't mean absolutely, but those are the kind of hints you look for. Like that's not just a pat on the bottom. That's really gross.
Yeah.
And again, do not put your lips on any orifice of a hooker ever.
No, that's weird.
It's asking for trouble.
That includes strippers, fellas.
That's like being a skyscraper climber. Eventually you're going to fall.
Yeah, and then you get the herpaderp.
Then you get if you're lucky, it's just the herpaderp.
Yeah, it'll probably be some like face rotting disease or something.
You're going to end up with crotch COVID.
Ew.
Poland puts NATO on alert after Belarus violates airspace. Troops scrambled to border. Tensions rise as Belarusian helicopters reportedly cross into Polish airspace during a training exercise. Polish Defense Ministry has reported that 2 Belarusian military helicopters violated Polish airspace during a training exercise. In response to the incursion, somebody whose name I can't say, the Minister of Defense has ordered the number of soldiers on the border to be increased. Belarusian side had previously informed Poland about the training drills. I have trouble getting too worked up over this one. There's a lot of people who are insisting that Poland's next on Russia's, whole list of things.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of pilots. It depends on how far they got, over the border. The border crossing reportedly took place at very low altitude, making it difficult to detect by radar. Polish MOD noted, therefore, in the morning announcement, the Operation Command of the Armed Force Branch informed Polish radar systems did not record any violation. NATO has been informed of the incident. So did somebody see him flying overhead?
Quite likely. Either way, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be one of those things that the people that want to get us involved are going to use this as an excuse to bolster their case.
Minsk, I can say that word, denies any infringement of airspace. I don't know. You don't have it on radar. I'm guessing somebody saw it. If it happened, it wasn't. We're not talking about like the Chinese just openly begging the Taiwanese to shoot at them.
Yeah.
Or, going right off the coast of Hawaii. This is a couple of helicopters crossed for maybe crossed for a minute. If this was an attack on Poland, so was Ukraine. This wasn't an attack. This was just a flyby.
I don't rule out that these might have been Ukrainian helicopters.
Oh, they could have been, sure. I'm just seeing way too many people trying to force the notion that Russia's going into Poland.
Oh, well, they want to go to war with Russia. They're
They
thirsty
absolutely
for it.
And you scrambled troops to the border. Nothing about bringing anti-aircraft guns. Nothing about bringing better radar. Just we're going to bring more troops to the border. All right.
Yeah,
I guess.
well, you got to ratchet those tensions up just a little bit more.
Didn't Ukraine already attack Poland? Yes, they absolutely did. But it was an accident. Oh, sorry. Paul had asked who Lizzo is. Lizzo is this chick who got famous for being fat, and she kind of sings. Oh, you know what? I can show you who Lizzo is. I have to. I'm pretty sure I can show this on the screen.
Photos of Holsteins on hand.
No. There's I guess you didn't see the post from what's her name earlier from Sugar Tits.
Oh,
there you
I
go.
haven't been online that much. Oh, gross.
I'm not positive this is Lizzo, but that's basically Lizzo right there. Just gonna let that hang in the air. All right.
Like the scent.
Yeah, Lizzo is this really, really fat chick who's only famous because she's fat. And everybody goes, look, she can kind of sing and she doesn't care that people think she's fat. And she can dance for a couple of seconds at a time before she has to stop and breathe. 300 illegal migrants found in Serbian forest close to Hungarian border. 13 firearms and ammunition seized by police. Oh, sounds like a nice little cell going on.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Found 9 automatic rifles, a hunting carbine, 3 pistols, hundreds of rounds of ammo with the migrant group. Yeah. And where was this at? The border with Hungary?
Yeah.
Around 300 migrants in possession of large weapon stash. Thank you, Frosted Glass. When you stare into the abyss, it stares back. It does. Don't stare into that abyss. A sizable police operation involving 820 officers participated in an operation to locate and apprehend the group, which authorities suspect included. Oh, that's supposed to be a space in there because suspected included is not one word.
Yeah.
A number of people, smugglers, trafficking illegal migrants into the. So this. Instead of actually being incursion, this sounds more like people smugglers, and they have guns to protect themselves.
Yeah, it sounded to me more like it was coyotes than, but they might be terrorists too. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of money in human trafficking these days.
Members of the Special Anti-Terrorist Unit, the Gendarmerie, sure. Police unit investigating the police brigade, the police administration, the criminal police, the technical administration. Jesus fuck. All took part in the operation. Total of 13 individuals were detained. A further 27 had misdemeanor charges filed against them. The remaining migrant group has been transported to reception centers across the country for processing. Yeah, this sounds like a coyote gang. Damn.
A well-armed one.
I mean, it's fucking not Somalia, Serbia. It can't be hard to get guns in Serbia.
No, I would think not.
I would think with the amount of guns that they let's see, we got 10, 13 guns coming out of Serbia. I would actually be like, oh, they're lightly armed.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, illegal immigration is an issue everywhere. Everybody's trying to get to a better place instead of just fixing where they fucking live.
Why would they want to do that when they could go get free shit from Europe?
Look, I'll be honest with you. Unlike a lot of the South American countries, if I lived in Serbia, I would be like, yes, I will pay you to get me the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah, you're in Serbia.
Trafficking is considered terrorism, isn't it? It depends, I believe.
A lot of trafficking groups are connected to terrorists.
Yes.
So,
what's up, Alex? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, and it's not to downplay them finding this, because yeah, that could be more, but 13 guns coming out of Serbia, that really does. It sounds like a trafficking operation. And they were moving 300 people?
Yeah, I think they're more worried that the traffickers are carrying the guns now instead of just smuggling people.
Well, I mean, if you put up with it, it's just going to get worse. So lock them fuckers up in a Hungarian prison. Good luck to them.
Yeah, it's probably better than a Serbian prison, but that's not exactly selling me on a lot there.
I feel like a Hungarian prison's not where I ever want to be.
Oh, no shit.
But out of the 300, what'd they say? 13 were arrested and 27 had misdemeanors, so just under 30 people.
Yeah, they probably couldn't even figure out whose guns they were because everybody was like, I'm not pointing them out. Fuck that.
Yeah, you get shot later.
Yeah, in Serbia, snitches don't get stitches. They get bullet holes.
Screw the Balkans. Don't want anything to do with them again. Yeah. Uh-oh. This isn't good. You can't blackmail people, Jack.
No, that dude.
Perv hunters arrested in Tokyo for blackmailing alleged voyeur. 3 men were arrested recently for allegedly blackmailing a person who they accused of secretly photographing a woman on a street. Was she naked? Suspecting the offenders were acting as perv hunters. What is a fucking perv hunter?
Oh, like you catch the perverts.
But define pervert. I mean, if it's somebody taking pictures of a woman, I mean...
No, dudes with like reflective things on their shoes so they can look up skirts.
Well, that I would understand.
Or kids,
But they just said secretly photographing a woman. That's not, mirrors on your shoes. It's not upskirts.
There's no freedom of panorama in Japan. You can't go around photographing at people. That's considered stalking.
They're suspected of extorting 1 million yen, which is $7,000, from a man in his 30s last August. Another suspect claimed to be acting as an agent for the woman who was photographed. They told the man near I can't say these words, so I'm not even trying. Told him that if he did not admit to photographing the woman, they would take him to the police and then demanded money to settle the matter. He borrowed money from a consumer credit business to make the payment, according to police. He later consulted the police, who suspected the 3 men may have extorted other No, this was probably their first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Who extorts money from perverts? How do you see that as a golden opportunity to get away with crime?
Yeah. There was a guy on YouTube when I first started watching YouTube. What he did was he'd go around and film people who were using the services of prostitutes in their cars. And I have a problem with people who take it upon themselves to be the morality police around the world. If you're stopping actual horrible stuff like the people who go after pedos, I'm on your side on that. But like this guy, and I realize what you said about Japan, but I don't give a fuck about their laws. Somebody taking a picture of a woman when she didn't realize it's not like they did it when she was peeing. She's walking through public and they took a picture of her. at least from what this is described there.
Mm-hmm.
If some dude is banging a whore, they're both adults, leave them the fuck alone. Go mind your business. Go find something productive to do with yourself. Just saying.
Well, I mean, if you're blackmailing them, then, I mean, that could be considered productive.
I don't feel like that's productive. I feel that's more criminal behavior.
Yeah.
Is this just a video? Oh, that's adorable. Did you see the video of the kitty cat who fell in the pool?
Yes, that was awesome. I figured you'd already seen that one, so I didn't want to.
I had indeed.
What we got here? Retweeted it.
It's a kitty. He's eating corn on the cob.
I never seen a cat eat corn on the cob before.
And he is dogging it, man. He is growling at that corn on the cob. So
mine.
I had to run to the store today to get a couple of ingredients for dinner. And while I was there, it's like, I'm going to spoil Phoebe. And so I bought her these cat treats. And I brought them home and I gave them to her. And she looked at me like I was retarded. My cat now only eats two things, Jack. She eats her food that we keep 24/7 food for, a little bowl of dried food.
Mm-hmm.
She eats that. And she eats these things they're called like a squeeze up or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
She absolutely loves those. Those are the only two things she'll eat. Except she'll eat grass and lettuce. But lettuce she doesn't actually eat. She just chews on it for a while and then stops.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's it. All the other weird stuff she used to eat, she won't eat any of it anymore. She won't eat canned cat food. Her Temptations that she used to love, she won't eat them at all. She turns her nose right up. But I got her this, and yeah, she looked at me like I was fucking stupid. Like, but you're a cat.
Apparently, you should just get her near corn.
Oh man, should have just bought her own head of lettuce.
Yeah, if she didn't want it, then you could just have it for lunch.
She's weird, man.
A little bit.
What the hell?
Well, you see, I thought I'd soften you up a little bit with the cat. And then you'd think, oh, these are all going to be cute videos, and then you'd be wrong.
No, that never works on me, Jack, because I never expect any good videos.
This is actually a follow-up to a video we watched previously.
Colorful Glass says, can cats eat corn? A lot of animal food is made with like cornmeal. So if you're asking if it's okay for them to eat, yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, I've never seen one eat corn on the cob, though. That's a new one.
That was adorable.
I thought so, too.
Popeye's Chicken needs to know that is not okay for their employees to be, like, calling trans women sir. To, like...
You looked like that weird dude from all the 80s movies, like Hot Dog and those. There was always that one redhead dude. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He was actually in an episode. He was in the skiing episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's who this guy. That's who you remind me of, sir.
This is the person that freaked out at Popeyes for being misgendered.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we watched it a while back.
Like, intentionally, like, fucking fuck with me after I did something he doesn't like. I heard the motherfucker call me sir.
I'd have done it to your face, sir. Just because you went and got some fake titties instead of growing them yourself like a real man doesn't mean you're a woman. And dudes, could you please, for the love of God, stop wearing stuff like this? I don't care if you call yourself a woman or not, but a midriff shirt like this with the little spaghetti straps, you're just ruining it for everybody else, okay?
Okay? And you can lie to save his ass because they're always so spineless and weaselly. But the world will fucking know at least this. That if you do this, if you go and you fucking accost trans people.
Calling you sir is not accosting you.
It's violence. It's literal violence, Monkey.
It's literally not.
Violence.
In public. We can hold you accountable.
Oh, dear fuck. What is with the eyebrows?
I don't know. I was wondering that too. But I was kind of frightened because it looks almost insectoid at this point, and I thought this might be a demon from another realm.
We could just make a fucking batshit scene and some of us fucking will.
We could just make a bash of better. What?
I have no idea.
Hang on. I got to hear that again.
We could just make a fucking batshit scene and some of us fucking will.
What?
We could make a batshit something.
All right.
Oh, Popeye's.
If I'm Popeye's chicken, I put your face in every one of my restaurants saying you're not allowed in there. You've been trespassed.
Yeah, because you're weird and creepy. I dropped the link in the chat of the original video if you guys wanted to watch it, because that person's nuts.
That is insanity, man. Trans activist has meltdown after he went viral for having another meltdown in a Popeyes after being misgendered and called sir.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one where a lot of the video is shot with him at the door leaving, yelling like a retard?
No, this is a first-person shot. Do you want to watch the video?
Sure, if you got it. We've seen so many of these.
Yeah, it's the last link there.
Doo-doo.
The Catherine one.
Yeah, I got it. All right. Let's get that queued up for the peeps here. Good God. Trans Karen flips out after being misgendered at Popeyes. All right.
Here, man, this guy called me sir. How you gonna sound everywhere I go, I get called sir. Sir, what?
Everywhere I go, I get called sir. I saw you. I understand why.
Yeah, you look like Carrot Top's hideous, deformed clone.
You look like a dude.
Why would you call a chick? They got us tits. Fucking. Why?
Boogie has tits.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's kind of a woman.
Look, I'm sorry, transgender people. Some of you pass, okay? Some of you try to pass, and still don't. And getting some fake titties thrown on doesn't make you pass.
You know what doesn't help, though? Making videos like this where you flip out on everybody who gets it wrong.
How did you call? No, stop trying to gaslight trans people and tell us that we're crazy. Crazy. You need.
Telling you you're crazy is not gaslighting anyone. That's just fact.
Be mindful of other people and stop being a scumbag and you're a liar. I heard you. Fucking gaslighting trans people.
All right, sir.
Wait, what? Did you call me sir again? Alex, I'm gonna be talking to corporate about you. Fucker. You. Okay? That's bull.
If you call my hotline or anything like that and you show me this video, I don't care what my person said. I'm telling you never to come back to my store.
Yeah, because you're a lunatic.
This, Jack, way back, I'm going to stop this one because I do remember that.
Yeah.
Way back when I worked at McDonald's and I was a shift manager, I only ever threw 2 people out of the store. And one of them was for that but kind of behavior. There wasn't a sir incident, but the person just starts flipping out on my cashier and screaming at them and swearing at them and like, you have to go now. You do not treat the people who work for me like that ever. Get the fuck out. Luckily, this was 20 years. Fuck. How old am I now?
You're
almost
old.
30 years ago. And it was a different time. And we told somebody, get the fuck out. They generally got a lot nicer and still left when you told them, no, sorry, you still need to get the fuck out. That woman's like, I'm so sorry for the way I behaved. Like, that don't matter. You did behave that way and you don't get a pass on it because you say sorry now. My employees love me, Jack.
Well, yeah, if you treat them with respect and stand up for them when they're not in the wrong.
Stop trying to own slaves under capitalism. This is Java Rosette. She kind of looks like my sister-in-law when she was younger.
Well, if you didn't like your sister-in-law, then she'll probably remind you of her even more.
Did you know that there are millions of aspiring slave owners walking amongst us?
It's true.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with her on that because there's probably some aspiring slave owners out there.
Yeah.
There are phrases like, I pay your salary, so you work for me.
That's not a slave owner. That's that's a boss.
No, that's the new code word for slave owner, monkey.
That's a fucking employer.
Yeah, and know who else was an employer? Slave masters.
No, they weren't.
I think you don't know what you're talking about with all your thinking.
Dangerous, thank you so much. I'm a woman. He nags like one, but XY to doubt. He doesn't even freak out like a woman. That guy didn't even, I mean, that's not how a woman freaks out.
No, he freaked out like a petulant child who didn't get his way.
Yeah.
Phrases like, the customer is always right.
Is that part of the new Stop Woke Act training?
It might be.
That slaves were told they had to treat the customer like they're always right.
Yes, it was part of the Confederate Constitution, I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
The customer's always right. Love the Confederacy, right?
Or, don't you know how much money I spend here?
Oh, so now we're at the customer point of view. Don't you know how much money I spend here?
Customers are also mini tyrants and slave lords because sometimes they just want to own a bitch.
Look, that's not an argument that ever worked with me. Don't you know how much money I spend here?
Yeah, because nobody cares.
Yeah, not enough that you're keeping us all employed, so stop being an asshole and go away.
Mm-hmm.
But does she think slavery was like they had McDonald's on a plantation?
Yes, that was the original name of McDonald's, was called the Plantation.
And Toby was told, hey, I pay your salary. That customer's always right. And when the little white woman walked up to order her McNuggets, she's like, don't you know how much I spend here?
Yeah, see, Kunta Kinte, a.k.a. Toby's name badge, he would get whipped for handing out sauce packets.
Oh, he gave out too many.
Yeah, he didn't charge the 25-cent upcharge for the extra sauce packet.
Yep.
So yeah, somebody got a free barbecue sauce, and the boss was like, I am shift leader here. That makes me the cracker, so it's time for your whooping. That's how that went down. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what slavery was like. You could just quit and walk away because once you sign up to work at McDonald's, you have to work there forever.
Is rebranded slave owner mentality.
It's not.
You are not owed anyone's time, dignity, unconditional obedience or servitude because you paid for it or
no, but I am owed them following my rules and doing what they were paid to do.
Oh my God. Next, you're going to want people to show up on time. Ugh.
And unlike slaves, if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out.
Yeah, you sound like my old boss who's like, you have to wear pants to work, blah, blah, blah.
Judging by the wrinkles in her neck, she is way too old for this stupidity.
Yeah, and kind of fat, but she doesn't seem like she has a job, so she's like, yeah, getting a job is like slave ownership.
Because you paid for it or them. That's not part of the exchange of services or goods. Stop it.
Your paycheck is neither a service nor a good.
Wait. Okay, hang on.
Dignity.
Sorry, she says so much in such a little time here.
Anyone's time, dignity, unconditional obedience or servitude
I'm not owed anybody's time when I'm paying there to be there at a certain time. All right. Fair, I guess. They can quit.
Because you paid for it or them.
I'm not owed anybody's time if I paid for their time.
If you're paying for their time, they're supposed to be doing work for you. So yes, you are kind of owed their time.
All right.
That's not part of the exchange of services or goods. Stop it. You're a monster.
You're an idiot and you're ugly.
Yeah, and I am a little bit of a monster, but that's got nothing to do with anything. Stop moving the goalpost, lady. Real quick though, thank you, Frosted Glass. Read all about it in the classic novel, Uncle Tom's Big Mac.
That did say Java Rose Yet, right? Yeah.
Jabba, Jabba. I don't think so.
No, Java, Java, like coffee. At Java
yes.
Rose Yet. I can't find her TikTok. Although there's a duet with her.
Oh, that ought to be fun.
Hang on, I'm listening to something here. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. Let's watch this one too, shall we?
Let's do it live.
Let's switch to this one. All right, this is the only other video I can find of her besides the singing one, which we're not going to pay attention because I don't care.
Hey, so everyone who has a job out there, everyone who works.
Bitch, what's wrong with your lips? How many different herpes do you have? All right. I mean, you knew you were going to film this, right?
Everyone who runs a company, I got two different messages for you. I'm going to start off with the workers. Workers, you need to educate yourself on federal labor law. I know you think that, like, why would I need to know that? Doesn't the state labor law matter? Well, yeah, the state labor laws do matter, but a lot of states are right to work states. Right to work means basically your boss can fire you at any moment without cause, but you can also quit without cause. And it's named to make it sound like freedom for the workers, but in reality, it basically means that there are no state regulations on employers. And
I have no problem with an employer being able to fire you at will. The whole notion that somebody should have to keep you employed when they don't need or want you anymore is asinine communist bullshit.
Yeah, that's the type of shit they do in Europe, and they have a lot of really lazy people. You could just not show up and not get fired. I work in an at-will state. If they don't like you, they can fire you. I don't like your hair color, you're fired. Yeah, it rarely gets used like that.
No.
It's very rare because people have a hard time finding good employees. And if you're even a remotely good employee, they'll put up with your weird personality quirks because you show up.
And when it comes to disciplinary processes or firing for cause. So it's completely there to, frankly, enable exploitation of the workers.
How is that exploitive to say, if you don't do your job, I'm going to fire you?
Or hey, we have no need for your services anymore. You know, business is slowed down. We don't have the work. That's not exploitive. That's we don't have the work anymore.
Yeah. Or we're replacing you with a machine.
Monkey doesn't like workers' rights. We've had this fight before. I have no problem with workers' rights. I just don't think you have a right to work somewhere where they don't need or want you.
And why would you want to work there if they don't want you? Other than
the thing is,
spite is a good reason, but otherwise, yeah, none. I do think it's a good idea to know your labor laws. That part she's right about, but the rest of what she said is stupid so far.
Mm-hmm.
I have discovered as a process consultant and a communications director and someone who's written a hell of a lot of operations manuals, and I had to get way into HR and way into.
She got into HR. Who could have saw that coming?
Yeah, this three with a really giant nose got into HR with her problem glasses. It's shocking to me.
state and federal laws. And I am not playing about this. The vast majority of companies, whether they're small, mom and pop, mid-size, or larger, write operations manuals and employee handbooks that they have you sign that are chock full of violations of federal labor law. If you
What are lawyers?
You're wrong, sweetheart. You're just wrong. Now, that's not to say there's never been a company that's done that. It happens, and that's when because sometimes a company will be like, okay, we want this, and they'll write it up, and somebody who does know the law go, you can't make us sign that. And then they go out and they hire a lawyer who can put it into the words that you can't say. It does happen, but her notion that, the vast majority, whether it's big, and her fucking hand movements. I fucking hate that female hand movement where it looks like they're making a little dog mouth come together, like they're trying to do fucking shadow puppets. Stop that. But the majority of them are doing that. You're just wrong. You're lying to people.
live in a right to work state, most of the employers in that state think they have the right to do whatever they want to you. Fun fact, they don't.
They don't even think that, you silly bitch. We've already talked about what right to work. You even started out with what right to work means. If they think they can do whatever they want, that means they can put it in your butt. No, stop it. You're a liar.
Your new name is Toby because that's the name tag we have. Now get to work or the whoopings will begin. No, there are still rules that they have to follow.
I now want to make a fast food place called Toby's, and everybody there has a name tag that says Toby, and they can only answer the name Toby.
And the employee of the month is Kunta Kinte.
And we're going to serve Chinese food. Why Chinese food? Just so it's not racist.
Even with the absence of certain disciplinary laws and things within that state, there is a lot of federal labor law that covers a lot of the shit that goes down.
Bullshit.
And makes it illegal. Know your rights and stick to them. Start with
Know your herpes, bitch.
This chick doesn't have a job.
Fair Labor Standards Act. Okay, so workers everywhere. I don't care if you flip burgers. I don't care if you're writing ad copy. I don't care if you're an insurance claims adjuster.
I don't care about reality or truth.
Familiarize yourself with the labor law, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you sign that handbook. If there's something illegal in that handbook, you are not beholden to it.
You are driving a car. She's the driver. You can tell by her movements with a fucking camera on you.
Yeah, this unfortunately is very common.
If you are in my audience and you do this, get the fuck out of my audience. I don't say that to many people, but this is dangerous. You're going to get somebody killed.
We don't want that blown back on us because we don't do that dumb shit.
I fucking hate people who are even on their cell phones when they're driving. You fucking asshole. You can see she keeps turning. That car is in motion and her eyes are on the fucking camera.
Oh, that's for the real audiences, monkey.
You're gonna kill somebody, you fat bitch.
No, she's gonna be upset that somebody ran into her when she rear ends them.
Legal for them to require you to sign a handbook with illegal things in it. Most companies bank on you not knowing your rights. They bank on you not knowing the law. And at a certain level, there's a lot of employers and companies who frankly are just ignorant. So they feel like
most companies do not want to get sued by the federal government for breaking labor laws, you dumbass.
Right?
It's much cheaper to go out there and find a lawyer who covers business and be like, hey, is this cool? Yeah, done.
They can just write whatever they want and it's going to uphold, and they count on you not knowing this. So
she's counting on you not knowing.
And secondarily, if you are a CEO, an employer, in a right to work state, you don't know as much as you think you do. I promise. Your HR people.
You know who knows more? Her.
Yeah. Later, is she going to tell me about writing checks that are accepted for value or some other sovereign citizen nonsense? Because she sounds like she's dangerously close to being one of those people.
When you get pulled over by the police, did you know you don't have to talk to them? You could ask for a manager. I mean, I'm sorry. They're sergeant on duty.
Yeah, this is basically what they're asking for.
I need to talk to your supervisor.
You know what? No, I want to go above your supervisor. I want to talk to the admiral.
I need at least a captain out here.
Yeah. It's not happening. Also, I want all your business cards.
Oh my God.
Especially if they're old school, probably don't know much as you think they do or they think they do. Y'all been getting away with shit for a long time. And guess what? You are beholden to federal labor standards.
They know that.
Whether you live in the right to work state or not. So you need to educate yourself as well. And if you have an HR...
You're supposed to be beholden to traffic standards right now, you fucking twat. Stop driving your car while you're doing your... I'm not even looking at her anymore for that shit.
Well, it's pretty ugly, so...
Hey, so everyone who has a job out there, everyone who works, everyone who runs a company, I got two different messages for you. I'm going to start off with the workers. Workers, you need to educate yourself on federal labor.
So it's not an actual duet. They're not actually singing it. This other chick is just nodding her head and agreeing with her. They can both go fuck themselves. They're retards. Anyhow. Oh man, I wish there was more of her, Jack. She's my kind of stupid.
She's a delight.
She is an idiot.
Sovereign Karen Mondays on ABC. Don't give them ideas, Frosted.
I might actually tune into an episode or two of that. There's no movement outside the car. There was lots of movement outside the car. You notice that the background changed? Yeah, that bitch was driving. Do not use your phone to film yourself while you're driving. You're a horrible fucking person who's going to kill somebody because you need a couple of seconds. Pull the fuck over. You'll be fine. There's nothing that important that you need to say to the camera that you can't pull over.
But she's more important than you, monkey.
The only exception to that, and it's not a good exception, is if you're in a high-speed chase with the police, and then, okay, yeah, you can't actually just pull over but at that point, you're already doing dangerous shit anyway, right?
Yeah, like parking lots are problematic because this lady's important. She's got shit to do. She's got to go out and nag some managers.
Yeah.
And talk to HR people. She's got meetings all day, so she doesn't have time to just stop and take a TikTok in a parking lot. Besides, she's special, don't you know?
She reminds me of so many people that I run into, and I have my whole life. They're people who know more than everybody else without actually knowing much. They know because they read. It's kind of like Mr. Noah Rotham that we started the show with. He read a little snippet of 2 cases, and he knows that means that this is a perfectly good indictment of Donald Trump, even though he clearly did not read what the case law was there.
Well, he didn't want to get too colonialist, monkey, because reading the English language is akin to wiping out a tribe of natives.
It's just I have no tolerance for those people. If you actually do know something and you're actually teaching me something, I'm happy to learn, Jack. But you can tell by her mannerisms, this has nothing to do. Notice she didn't give a single example.
Examples? What kind of messed up colonizer nonsense is that?
All she said was they think that they can do whatever they want to you, and that's not true. Well, give an example. They have you sign these things that are against federal law. Give a single fucking example. Not one. It's just they do it. They do it. Who? What'd they do? Give an example. Not a fucking one. And then, you have people that are going to watch that and be like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was able to get away with all this shit.
That's because we have a lot of stupid people out there in the world now that don't understand that we don't still live under like maritime law or the Articles of Confederation.
You really should, if you're employed, you really should know the laws, at least a basic understanding of them, because sometimes you'll get managers and stuff who don't. Look, I ran into that shit all the time, man. Not just, labor laws and stuff, people who didn't even know our own rules within the companies I worked at and have to show them in their own fucking handbook. No, it says this right here. Because some people do get into those positions of power. And I've never noticed it, I should say, really directly in the rules as they were written where they violated law. but I've known a shit ton of managers who never paid attention to the rules.
Yeah, well, there's most people I don't think bother to even read the rule books. You know, your corporate policies and all that, because it's boring.
I don't get that, man. But you can't be a smartass without knowing all those stuff.
I know. Well, that's the thing is, people that are going to skirt the rules, at least on the edge lines, have to know how the rules work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't push your luck. But
you can't dance up to that line if you don't know where the line is.
Exactly, because you get fired, and nobody needs that. So it's very important to know the exact wording that is used in the handbook, so you can manipulate that to your advantage and rules lawyer the shit out of them.
Eagle says most people go along as long as it's not stupid. Who needs a handbook? You're not wrong about that. I mean, and most people never get into a situation where they need to be challenging the handbook, if you're just being honest.
Yeah.
The vast majority of workers are not fired from their jobs. They leave them for other reasons. And so you don't really have to worry about that shit. But you have to remember, this is a chick who told you that if you pay for somebody's time, they don't owe you their time.
I bet hookers are excited about that.
I have a couple of tweets for you and Monkey that I've just seen. I will check them out. I'm wrapping this show up though. By the way, Pat, I see you're in chat, man. I'm so sorry for your loss, my friend. I saw that post from you and my fucking heart broke, dude. I hope he's resting well.
Everything okay?
His brother passed away.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, man.
So, I love you, bro, and I please extend my condolences to your family. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap up there. Thank you so very much for the time that I didn't pay for that you gave me anyway. Is that the way to put it?
I have no idea.
I think that
crazy.
I think that woman would be appreciative of that. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you so very much for the donations. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to a cool looking video, but thank you all for the donations, and thanks for coming out and watching us. This was a rather long one. We appreciate you guys hanging around.
Time you took for me. That's right. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do anything else tonight, and I'm not gonna say I am. I'm that tiredness is coming back, Jack. So I might just go lay down again. I fell asleep on the couch last night. I meant to come back down and play a game, but I went upstairs, got something to eat, and I was like, I just finished watching this show. I got to stop doing that because every time I do it, I pass out on the couch.
Yeah.
Or I needed the sleep. So whichever, tomato.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Thank you for joining me, my friend.
Oh, always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful night, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I don't have a song in mind for the end of this show. I should just turn it off so that we can all go. Lizzo made somebody eat a banana out of a hoe. I don't know where else to go.